As we always have to do, as we all know by, if you don't know by now, then you never knew. So we have to check every single time that it's coming through. So we'll go on Telly Bob, Telly my Bobber, see if it's coming through. Yes, we're in. We're in, we're on, we're over. It's a beautiful thing. Biddly biddly bow. Yes, yes, yeah. Here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. Quick shit live vid. Yes, now what's good? Hey up, Tim. Tim Flowers, the best named man on YouTube. Hey up, now. 78 RPM Saviour, what's good? Where's Ming at? Hey, it's been some week. Exhausted, guys. Exhausted. Can't seem to garner any energy this week. I'm just Dion Dublin struggling. Oi, oi, Baseline Bible, what's good? You got any gigs coming up, lad? I think it was about 2 Christmases ago, wasn't it? Something where we tried to drag me to Tenerife. XO, what's good? XXAOXX. I always call you XO for some reason, but hey. Yeah, got plenty to rattle through today, to be fair. Legendary MVG, what's good? How are we? Smash a like, guys. It's much appreciated. Get your votes in. Get the yes in on this little poll that we've got going on for fun. We've got 10 votes in. 80% say yes, 20% say no. Champions. Definitely going up as champions in my humble opinion. I think it's written in the stars now. That's not, well, that is why we're here, but you know what time it is, what we've got to do before we get beginning, before we start. Got to move back to get his greatness in. If there was a drum roll available, I would provide it. Get that badger in and on and over here. I think I'm a bit on the tired side, on the laggy side, on the Aggie side, because I've been doing my tax return. It's just like I've left it last minute, like I leave absolutely everything, and it's horrible. Badger in and on and over here. I think check she's not distorting. We want to remain the Badgers levels to be beautiful, don't we? Joe Depp, what's good, man? I'm hoping it wasn't deliberate, but I'm hoping you getting. Are you on the mend, or are you in the heart of darkness with it? Because there's no worse than, is it man flu that you've got? We're still on Budweiser, guys, on twist caps and the cold, so it's gonna make me hand. Oh, that was a good noise, wasn't it? That one for the ages. Yes, that's what it's all about. Hey, good stuff. Yeah, I've been doing tax return. It's so like mundane and like terrifying, and it scares me. And then I have to do it in absolute silence because I can't, like, I'm like, right, and it's like, what time? I can't stand it. Yes, Alfred Tam, what's good? We're looking like, so I don't know if anybody's seen Joe's video today. There was some information came in late last night. Biddly 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 boom. Yes, Andrew Thompson. This young Cameron Archer fella on the horizon. So Badger's in my way here. I can't get settled, boys and Bob. They're on about, so apparently they've put in a bid for him earlier on, or late into last night or whatever. Apparently it was 99% done according to certain agents and what have you and whatnot, and whoever gets involved. It was apparently it went all around the internet today. It was all online, all on radio, everything, and then apparently the bid has been rejected. Napping at 3 p.m. Perfect. I had a nap this afternoon, to be fair. My brother were around then. I think I fell asleep, but I don't even know if I did or not. It's horrendous. Jones Archer videos had very different tones. How do you mean, dude? I think it's developed as the day's gone on, though, because this morning it was pretty much on. Is the badger humping your leg? I bloody well hope so. Why is she on wobble? I accidentally misgendered it the other day, I think, apparently. She wasn't offended, but somebody thought, is the badger a male? And I was like, what? Like, I've never even thought about it up until then, but it's always humping my leg a bit. There's not wrong with that, though, is it? It's only a bit of friendship flesh. But I do think, I don't know, I've not watched either video, to be fair, but I think it's developed as the day's gone on. So there was a bid put in, and then I think it was, I think the lad himself is ready for off, really. He's looking for some game time and stuff. What I would say is it'll be an excellent signing, that. I think they wanted a loan jobby with a view to buy, because obviously he's at Southampton at minute. Time from Villa. So, yes, Mark Jones. Yes, good big lad. And then I think it's been rejected, so Southampton are sort of holding out a little bit. I don't know whether they want, not up for the loan to buy or whatever it is, whatever. But it's back on. Maybe not on the cards, but it's certainly not. It's not bullshit. It's been all around radio all day today. I love Out 49. They do work in silence. I'm more on Joe's side with that. I think it's a given anyway, to be fair. But he came to Middlesbrough on loan halfway through the season in Championship, and he got 11 goals in 20 appearances. I think he got about 4 or 5 assists or something. And I was saying a couple of weeks ago, by 17 games to go, we're going to struggle to get a player in that'll get 12 goals. And, by his record, he won't do that because he only did it in 20 appearances. But 11 goals, I think 5. Yes, 78 RPM. Love it. Badger is quiet, obedient, and does a good job. It's obviously male. Yeah, I think he's... I've just heard him again. He was a shame a minute ago. He's whatever he wants to be. She's whatever she likes. He's a bit of both, but, there's no going on, so I don't really need to. I think it's quite rude to ask him, really, so I just sort of... He never causes me no problems, no harm, so I just leave him to his own devices, whether he's a man or a male. Real G's moving silence like lasagna. That sounds like the start of a really, PG rap, like a Will Smith rap, but I don't think Will Smith's got them type of similes in his locker, so I love that. But yeah, Bob's not the badger. That's one thing I would say. Bob's Wendy. 100% Mark. Yeah, I think, to be fair though, I think we're running out of time. I think this is our last strike, this Cameron Archer fella. It's all come out. Is that actually a Little Wayne line? It won't surprise me if that was a Little Wayne line, because that's ace. You should have taken it as your own. I agree, Sakamoto Sensei. That's where I'm living. I honestly think it's proper interesting to see what would happen with Joseph there, and all the Joseph lovers out there that, not saying I'm not, but, he gets significantly pushed further down. Well, it becomes the third striker, doesn't it, due to Bamford being horrendously injured all the time. The Badger needs no medicine, never. No medicine ever. That wasn't the Badger humping Jack legs. It's Jack strings being pulled by just Joe. Behave. Voice. Well, as I say, dude, he got with 11 goals for Middlesbrough in Championship on loan in 20 games. Obviously, and he's a youthful man. What sort of makes me laugh? He didn't pull up any trees at Sheffield United or at Aston Villa, but he didn't play for Aston Villa. Played in Premier League for Southampton, 21 games, 2 goals, but I don't know how many minutes that equates to. But my point is, we all go on about he's got 2 goals in 21 games, as I say, for Southampton this year, which is in Prem. 23 years old. When he'll have been at Middlesbrough, so I suppose it's only a year ago, but we're getting towards Joseph's age. We've got to get on with these players. You can't be messing about. And for who we can bring in, I mean Joseph's 21, so they've been similar age when he were playing for Middlesbrough, and he's banging 11 goals in 20 appearances for Middlesbrough, who are the top team. So in them terms, I think it'd be a mint signing if he can get 5 or 6 goals. Who are we gonna bring in really that you think's actually even a goal threat? Because if he brings in 5 or 6 goals, as I say, that is more than well worth it. Just somebody to help Parisley out, give us a second option, even if it ends up taking over Peru. I don't think that'd happen immediately, but at the moment we're going from Peru to Joseph, and with the greatest respect to Joseph, we're not getting anywhere doing that. It's not affecting the game or anybody's coming in and actually getting a goal or all. So at least it'd actually be a bit of competition. It adds a massive sting into the side as well. I really think it gets everybody going a little bit. Archery's okay. He's played in NAF teams, agreed. Badger the Randy Gadger at it again, loves it. Soiled in here. Having a soiled evening. At the right club we will fly, and we are the right club. We are that club. I agree. I think they're on about 15 million for him as well, which is a decent wedge of money, isn't it? And as I've said before, 49ers don't get ripped off. So I've heard on the grapevine that Messi was interested. Messi remains interested to the day D died. Feels like time is running out. It does. Well, it is, isn't it? Quite literally. I think unless somebody's unveiled on Saturday against Cardiff, I keep thinking it's Coventry because I'm looking forward to that Coventry game. That will be a good watch along that with Fat Frank coming back, won't it? But yeah, if they're not unveiled for Cardiff, I think it. I also think I mean I know it's only one game, but the league's sort of getting away from it. Not the league itself, but it's getting away from us slightly in terms, realistically. Then he's not going to play Wednesday, is he? Or he's not even going to be on bench. Possibly is if he signs Saturday, we're on bench for Wednesday maybe. But if we're talking Monday or whenever it closes on 3rd, doesn't it? So I don't know where that lands on calendar, but it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, it'll close on Monday, won't it? So probably have him on bench for Wednesday. To be fair, I'm talking shit, but yeah, I'm just keen to get him in the side because then ultimately we're 17 games to go now. Cardiff 16 games, Coventry 15 games. And then we're running out of games. Well, it can't be helped, Andy Rowe, unfortunately. It is news, though, so I know you don't like the bullshit talk, but it is the nature of the beast. If it comes up, it must come out. You can't blame content creators for talking about what's in the news. And ultimately, this time of season is quite good for views and stuff. So, I get abused for clickbait. I'm sure everybody else does. It's like, I don't really know what you want. In YouTube, absolutely surrounded by clickbait, isn't it? Like, just everywhere I look, like I'm clicking on boxing videos and the title is like scandalous, and it's like, where's the scandal? Or fuming interaction or whatever. It's like scathing report and all this stuff. It's like nothing's happened, does it? But it's a competitive world out there, Andy. Steven Gerrard is indeed on the getting bounced, I believe. Yeah, I don't know if it's gone through, but yeah, he certainly is on. He's having a wobble. He's left, yeah. He's in a relegation scrap. I mean, to be fair, who cares about that? I'm sure he'd be happy to be on his way home. I'm surprised they've sacked him though. Simon Jordan's going in on him, criticising Gerrard. It says here, Simon Jordan criticised former Leeds United. Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard for his poor performance. He just said he's a poor manager, which he probably is. I've heard a few spokes about that Lampard's getting on fat fwank, getting on all right and stuff at Coventry at minute, which he is. I think the last results are actually pretty decent, but I think that'll all collapse. I don't think he's got out about him, Lampard. They've won 3 of the last 5. I don't know when he got there, to be fair. But, you know, I'm certainly not a fat flank friend. Neil Davison says, I don't think we'll sign anybody before the window shuts, but not worried at all, Miss N. I'm dipping in and out of it. I think we should be going up regardless, but I do think it'd be good to get a body in. I think I'd be up for that Archer. I think that'd be quite exciting. Also because he's young, 23, and we'd go into Premier League with him. I don't want to get someone that's 30 and just here for, you know, I mean, I know Farke don't want this in terms of, you know, getting someone in just for money and, you know, just to, I don't know, looking for a bit of a paycheck, but I don't think you really get that in Championship anyway, do you? They're not going to drop down for a paycheck, are they? There might be somebody comes up for a paycheck, but, you know, is Guilavogui here for the paycheck, or is he worth his weight in gold? That guy that has to get 30 minutes, has to get 30 seconds in every game. Agreed, Ena. That's where I'm living. %. I mean, I can't be asked looking at that Cannons. But I think it's exciting. 23 years old, a young man. Still got loads to prove. He's been at decent clubs like Villa. I mean, he's been on loan all over the shop from them, to be fair. Solihull Moors, whoever the hell they are, but that, you know, you'll have been a well young kid then. Preston North End, he got 7 goals in 20 there. And then, as I say, went to Middlesbrough for only for half of the season, got 11 goals in 20. So that, you know, 40 games, he's got 18 goals there. Pretty good going, that. And that's obviously at our level. Then Sheffield United signed him, Villa signed him back. And he's ended up at Southampton, so I don't know what's gone on towards the end of his latter career there later. Well, 22 onwards, but yeah. Yes, Wayne Garbutt, what's good, brother? AO says, yeah, clickbait is unbelievable on YouTube. It's lucky I'm only signed to decent YouTube channels. YouTube. Gerrard was at one at Saudi Arabian sides, wasn't he? Al Ettifaq. They're in a relegation scrap. I don't even know how their league works, to be fair. I don't know how many there is of them. There seems to be substance to Archer interest. It's hard to clickbait. Exactly, dude. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like you've got to speak about. I mean, I speak about all the nonsense anyway, so I might as well talk about the. You know, that it's legitimate. It's been. I mean, not that TalkSport know what they're on about, but it's got to the radio. Do you know what I mean? It's on Sky Sports News and stuff. There's definitely been a bid. There's definitely been a discussion gone in on that. So, and I'm all for it. I think it'd add the injection that, not necessarily that we need, but that will do us absolutely no harm. Awesome. Interesting. Neil Davison says Gerrard got sacked because he soiled his scent on the touchline. He's always been soiled on the ball, hasn't he? But you know, off the pitch, you know, outside at pitch, when he's soiled himself, he's not been quite as soiled, has he? Or more soiled, but less misspelt. Matt Jones says these ex-footballers think they're given to be a top manager, not one who's worked in recent years. They don't work, do they? Let's have it right, to be fair. I think it's a totally different thing. You know, unless you're going into like Zidane did at Real Madrid, who obviously did do a good job, but also, you know, Real Madrid are always going to be in and around it, aren't they? I do think it's a lot harder in English football. I think, you know, for managers, they're better off, you know, this idea that you got to go and cut your teeth and learn your craft or whatever, like Rooney's tried to do, like Lampard's trying to do, or they're not trying to do that, they just can't get a better job, that's the reality. But I think they're better off doing one, going somewhere, getting in Germany or something, and actually, like, you know, becoming a successful team at a decent level. I think you can get away with it, like what Alonso's done and stuff. You know, I think you're better off abroad. Like I was surprised really when Farke. I know it's probably the best opportunity they'll get, but you got to look at like Arne Slot and stuff who just stayed in Holland, and I know he's doing well at Liverpool now, but it's like, I don't know. Once you get here, you're labelled, you're stuck with it. You know, like Eric Ten Hag ended up with scum job, didn't he? You know, like would he have got the scum job if he was managing Plymouth Argyle? I don't think he would have done. Do you know what I mean? He'd have gone into like the no. You know, I know Farker divides opinion, but nobody's saying Farker for office, are they? Nobody wants, you know, if when Tottenham eventually sack Ange. Same with him. Do you know what I mean? Who's he? Some Australian gadget that went to Celtic and did well. It's like, you know, well, Gerrard went to Rangers and did well, didn't he? And that didn't work. I thought he actually did all right at Villa, or where we're at Villa we were at for first sort of few months, and he looked like an half decent manager, and then it just collapsed. I don't know. There's obviously there's managers like Moyes and stuff who is like decent, and you know he's proven it over years that he's solid and can win stuff. But I don't know. I think sometimes you're better off just getting out of this crap, really, because I just think it's ruthless, and we're so. It's good though, it makes the leagues mint, but we're so quick to just write stuff off, write players off, write managers off, and in reality, you know, it's pot luck. I saw Roy Keane today on Overlap, to be fair. I didn't see him, but I watched him via the television. Well, it was via my phone actually, but regardless, I saw him on a screen. And he said that the difference between it being a managerial move that you don't want, and a managerial move that you do want is just winning a few games. Like, if you win a few games, it's like, he said he looked back at his Ipswich career and thought, maybe that wasn't a good move for me as a manager, but the Sunderland one, I won a few games, and that ended up being a good move for me. Like, you don't know until you get there, do you? You know, like he said to Gary Neville, you went out to Valencia, you didn't know you didn't want the job till you got there and thought, shit, I'm losing games, I don't want this job. You only know when you start losing, don't you? If you're winning every game, it's like Farker wants this job, doesn't he? He's winning every week. So he'll want this job. We're a big club. You know, but if we were losing every week, he wouldn't want the job either. It'd be like, you know, this is bad for his career. So they're both in. Sakamoto sends Gilavogi pays Leeds to play. Loves it. He does love it, to be fair. He's a top lad. I just don't know why he's like, it's required that he gets 30 seconds in every single game. It's like other day when Gruev went down, which I do want to discuss. I'm slightly concerned about that. I've not seen Farker's interview though today, to be fair. Does anybody know if has Farker mentioned any injury stuff? I would normally be on top of that for you boys, but as I say, I've been half asleep and then doing my tax return, which has been hell on earth. I can't stand doing it, so I've put it off so long. Fucking hell, Bamford's out for even longer, is it? It says here. Facing the delay. I can't see any mention of it. I don't know if anybody knows whether he said it about Gruev, because I was slightly concerned that he sort of overplayed him at weekend. I didn't think it was it the weekend or Monday? Monday, were it? I can't remember, but yeah, just sometimes I think it's a little bit unnecessary to play him for as long as they did. I didn't, as I say, Andy, I've not actually seen it today for the first time in God knows how long, but I've just not had a chance. That's why light's gone off. It's light's bust at back, so I think he's been eating it like a little I'm going to call him the little rat that he is. Then that's maybe a little bit much. Well, my man Arch. I mean, he's more of a getting behind, isn't he? You know, but 5'11". How big do we have to go? They're not. I don't think really. I mean, I know what you're saying. To be fair, but oi, righteous one. Yeah, he went back to Villa, didn't he? But he just didn't play, I don't think. And then he's ended up getting shipped out to Southampton. It's a decent signing that. You'd have to get behind that. Only Wobber and Bamford that are out. So Wobber's having a wobble again, is he? Love it. Potter went to Chelsea from Brighton and did note, pal. Well, yeah, but Brighton are in it. That's what I'm saying. Brighton are a good club to go manage out there. That's exactly the type of team that you'd go and do well for yourself. No, I didn't, Andy. I've not heard out as of yet. I don't think it's been flagged. It's crazy with Bamford now, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, unbelievably, there's still people that think if we don't go up, not if we don't go up, because if we don't go up, Farker loses his job, and then games like Monday when people are saying it's drab, you'd have to look back at them sort of games. The West Brom game at the start of the season when we didn't go for a win. That's what I'd put it down to. This idea that, Meslier, Silent S, is the one that's going to take us down or whatever. That'll keep us down. I'm not going to go in on that. I don't believe in that. But if he doesn't get the results, the draws and stuff, if we don't start dragging them into wins a little bit, that will be for me what defines whether we go up or not. And I think he's looking at it the whole picture, and I do believe he'll get us up. But if he don't get us up, he gets sacked. If he gets us up via playoffs, I think you just have to stick with him. I think we're going up champions, but if he got us up by playoffs, I just think you'd have to stick with him. I think it's ludicrous. So some people saying because if we capitulated a little bit and went up via the playoffs, you'd get rid of Farker. It's like, well, what? I don't know. I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know how you can get promoted and then sack your manager. Do you know what I mean? I mean, somebody may very well have done that at some point. It's not fucking sentimental FC. We need to get Sean Dyson. He's available. Yeah, he does, to be fair, Joe. Wow, he loves it, doesn't he? Nice. It's good that Stewart's on his way back, to be fair. I think that frees up the... So obviously everybody getting a bit edgy about whether or not we're going to bring in a centre-back in, weren't they? But I don't think that were ever going to happen, really. And I know everybody hates to say it, hates to hear it, but Ampadu is a better centre-back than anybody we'd currently be able to sign. I think, even that Amabamadelia guy that I was up for signing, I don't think he's better than Ampadu at back. Smash that badger, get up. Peterborough Whites are up in here, yes. Peterborough Whites, shout out to you boys. It's crazy. It's crazy. Neil Skepper, this is a good one. I've been in Bamford's corner while he was playing, but we need his reportedly large wages off the books now. I agree. I just don't care about the wages that he's on and stuff. I think the club will do the right thing. I think ultimately, I know you're not having to go at Bamford there for being on the wages that he's allegedly on, but if he's on decent money, he's on decent money. It's like that's the club's fault, and it's the club's decision to put him on a contract that realistically he's always going to struggle to. The thing is, with it, how long would it be before Bamford broke down anyway? So it's like, I know that he's got to get the contract just on the basis that, you've got to take players serious, but I think you could have probably kept him on a yearly rolling contract, really. That's how sort of injury prone he is. But I know that's a risky business because he might want to move on. But, if we carried on in the trajectory that we were going in, and we're paying him decent wages, I can't see why he'd have ever moved. I don't think anybody had offered him much more money. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there's got to be an element where I know Bamford won't accept that. Players won't accept a 1 year thing. They need some security, but you're sort of paying for that security. I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work, really, to be fair. Just sort of thinking out loud, but there's got to be some sort of a... I don't know. Once you've got that contract, you can't blame him for sitting on it, is all I'm saying. It's like, I hate Well, I don't hate. Well, I do hate Rashford. He plays for Man U. I don't really care about him either, so I don't hate him. I just like to say I hate him. But like, you know, it's same for him. They're on about him. You know, he's gonna have to take a pay cut or whatever. Like, well, why would he? I mean, he should be going to training and actually try to perform and get back into the scum side. You would imagine. You would have thought. He's obviously not. But you can't blame him for sitting on his contract and just going, well, I'm not off anywhere. Where would I go anywhere? You offered me this contract. You know, I'm a dickhead. You should have known I was a dickhead at the time. Should have known I was more into politics than I am out else. So I don't know. I sort of see both sides of it. I know you're not saying that, to be fair, Neil. You're just saying, you know, we need it off at Bucks. I just don't really care. For me, I've always backed Bamford, but, you know, if he's getting injured on injury, you know, if he's getting injured while coming back from injury, it's getting to a point where, like, sort of in the way a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Dave Galea says, if we don't go up, our best player will leave, which is Tanaka. There'll be a few that leave if we don't go up. Andy Rowe, yes, I have digested it. It still hurts to the core, but just Joe compared me to Carl Pilkington last night while I was on his show, which I took on chin. Carl Pilkington's relatively funny, but I'm sure, knowing Joe as I know him, I'm sure he meant it in the nicest way possible. Matt Jones says, Bamford has to go surely in the summer. No more relying on the ghost on Bamford. Need new Viduka type strike. Well, you know, who don't need a new Viduka though, in fairness? Vidukas don't come very often, do they? 78 RPM save. He says, please do not say playoffs out loud. It's traumatic and emotionally draining. I feel you. The Amber Nectar of choice tonight is still Budweiser because it's still on offer. Still deals upon deals in Tesco. I don't mind it. I'm not against Budweiser. I don't particularly like it. I enjoy the fact it's a twist cap, which is ridiculous because I do have a bottle opener here and I had to look to my side to find it, but I kind of like the twist cap vibe. I used to like the Grolsch tops, although I like Grolsch, but anyway, but I used to like them tops just because it's a different vibe. I don't know. Joe Depp says, in my opinion, my honest opinion, we are stronger with Ampadu at the back. I can't help but agree with you. I think when Struitt gets back, it's worth getting Struitt back in and Ampadu back into centre mid, though, just on that option. But while ever Struitt's out, I think that's totally fine, me. Enar says, Farker might get a shorter leash if we get promoted through the playoffs, but I don't think he'll be sacked. That is perfectly put, Enar. That would be exactly where I'm at. It's not good enough for us to go through the playoffs. That's the second year on bounce that it's fallen away. I know it was an anomaly last year, but still we didn't get promoted. So to fall into the playoffs this year would be significantly worse than how it went last year. But I don't think you can lose your job on that basis. Going up's going up. If you've asked if the clubs, you know, said right, promotion is the key. It's like, well, I got you promoted, but I 100% agree. You know that there will be certainly less convinced of him, and you'd be looking elsewhere a little bit sooner, or you'd be getting your things in place, wouldn't you, to potentially replace him. Not saying that they should, do you know what I mean? But you'd definitely got a shorter leash. Perfectly put. That I agree with that. Sakamoto says, we go up, he deserves a chance to see if he can drive forward in the Prem. Simple as that. 100%, that's where I'm at. AO says, Bamford has needed to go for some time now. He's not worth the $1. Well, he's not worth the £1, and you did put £. I said $1. And we need a consistent striker. We just need somebody that can play, can't we? I saw that today as well, Andy. But to be fair to Rooney, I've never seen it neither. I've never seen a Rambo film. Ming says, Prem or bust for Farky. Agreed. Righteous One says, Bamford has chronic plantar fasciitis, I reckon, which I don't know what that is. And I know from the way that it sounds, it ain't getting Googled. Righteous One says, if you look at Rashford's side on, he looks like JJ the Jet playing. I used to like JJ the Jet playing. That's a throwback. Andy says, this time last year we went on that winning run. As of now, what's points difference from last season to now? I'm not 100% certain on the point difference from last season to now, but I know that when we went up with Bielsa, we're 5 points in front of that. and nobody was arguing with Bielsa's football. Certainly not me. And I'd rather have Bielsa at the helm, but we are 5 points better off than we was with him. So, Wigan White's loyal here says we need the striker to get us over the line. I just think it'll add a massive boost if we got that young kidder in. He'll come in full of spunk. He'd be all about it. It'd be mint. Richard Todd says, evening Jack, would Dewsbury Hall be on loan be a good shout? Can't get a game for Chelsea. He's a proper winger though, isn't he, Dewsbury Hall? Ironically, I used to get called Dewsbury Hall, didn't I? Somebody commented saying, "Oh, you just called me Dewsbury Hall," and I thought you were on about what? We're signing Dewsbury Hall. I didn't know what was going on, but I don't think I do. I get called Cooper. I'm fine with that. But yeah, really, oh no, to be fair, it's got him in centre mid here. But I thought he played more out wide. Did Dewsbury Hall? I always seem to remember him bursting down wing, but I mean that you'd have to take that if he's saying he can play central. I'm not 100% certain he can though, to be fair. But Matthew, all contracts can work both ways. Sometimes good for the club, sometimes good for the player. It's both, isn't it, man? It can be both. Like, the club can hold on to an asset. It's just with the Bamford scenario, it's like he's not as much of an asset as he was. It's become a little bit unstuck, hasn't it? So. Righteous One says he needs to donate his body to science at this point. Ming59, the offer tamer. Mark Jones, craft beer. Can't do them, man. I can't hack them at all. I think they're like they taste like flowers, and I can't do it. The Unambiguous says I'm at the age where wine is a go-to. I got wine drunk for the first time in my whole life about 2 years ago, and the day after had a real effect on me, and I have not touched it since. I'll have a bit of champagne and prosecco or whatever, but in terms of just straight wine, it's just I'm never drinking that again. It really scared me, that stuff, morning after. I did mix them, which apparently you're not meant to do, but oh no way, did not trust my brain the day after that. Richard Todd says Bamford would get injured doing the shopping. Think time's come up in number 9. I don't think he needs to go shopping at this point, to be fair, but AO says, I'm going to say it. If Nonto, Amps, DJ Byram and Ramazani get injured, do we get promoted without bringing in new signings before the transfer window closes? Well, if Nonto, Ampadu, Dan James, Byram and Ramazani all get injured, I'll delete my channel. And don't cut that up for Christ's sake. But if they all get injured at the same time, I mean, that's like saying, what if they all get on a bus and the bus crashes and they all get injured? Mark Jones is on with you there, Unambiguous. I think, to be fair, when we're discussing like who the best player is, I don't think it comes in with the keeper, does it? But I take your point to some extent. But I think you can say who's like the most important. Richard Todd says he's a 10. Evening, Jack. Nice one, Michael. Good to see you, brother. Well, I can't see you, but good to see something from you. If he's a 10, there's not been any spoke of that, but. I mean, he's always played well against us. I just always thought he were wide, but I don't know whether I'm losing my marbles with that. But we don't know. Bob commented other day, so she is still about, but Unambiguous, matured souls. I have never understood that either. Warm beer is awful, but the fruity stuff's even worse. Joe Depp, I think the reason that Southampton will sell now is that Archer most probably has a release clause. Remember them in his contract. Is it Southampton? I don't know why I just read that wrong. I just said Aston Villa, didn't I? I think I'm really tired, boys. I don't remember that, to be fair, Neil, but it won't surprise me. It won't surprise me not one bit. I can't remember if I started the channel in the Championship. I think I must have done. So maybe I'll be able to go back and have a look at people moaning, but Fast Yavate says, would Bamford make it in the Leeds team today? I know everybody's going to blow up over this and drop dead, but yes, a fully fit Bamford is still the best striker at the club, and I'm so up for somebody else to come in and be better than him, but a fully fit Bamford is the best striker at the club. Yeah, love it, Michael. Fine wines, boys. Cillian, I don't know that you're calling me a penis there, so I'm not gonna highlight that comment. Ain't nobody down round here, says Ming. Joe Depp don't whinge. We don't have any whinges in here. Bob up, yes. You're not well, Bob. What's up, Wendy? What's up with you? Sakamoto says, I'd have a tenner on that. The odds of that happening, but I'd be tenner down. Yeah, I'd be making loads of bets. I'd be putting tenners on all sorts, putting tenners on them all get injured. Because that would be some mint. 78 RPM, thank you. I thought I was just going to get abused, which I'm sure there will be some abuse coming in for that, but I really do believe that. This is what happens, isn't it? This is the punishment of being one of the best players in the side. That's what happened to Somerville. There's got to be ways to negate it. I tell you, a wild take on another channel I saw a clip of. Joseph is not getting the goals because Aaronson isn't good in the number 10. Now, there's so many things to break down about that. It's so mental. So, like the Solomon, people doubling up on Solomon. Apparently, Joseph would get more goals if we had a better 10, which is the most. Like, I also don't know why it's taking you like 20 whatever games to work that out. How many games are we in? 29 games. It's taking you to work that out. That if we had a better number 10, Joseph would start getting some goals. If Joseph were better, Aaronson would get more goals. If Joseph were better, Aaronson would be able to set him up more often. If Joseph could hold the ball up, Aaronson would have more of a chance of actually delivering some passes to him. I haven't looked because I can't be bothered, but I've no doubt there'll be a couple of times that Aaronson's put Joseph in. Just the law of averages. Aaronson's got some good goals and assists this year. He would be setting Joseph up. It's such a mental statement, that. And it's like, where does that end? Because then you've obviously got like Peru. So if would Peru not be better than Joseph then? Peru would be better than Joseph if Aaronson were better, because if we had a better Aaronson, people are saying, oh yeah, but Joseph got goals when Rutter was in the side. Like, so did Peru. And Rutter, how many goals did Joseph get last year? He just came on. He just looked good when he came on. It's a piece of piss to look good when you come on, boys. When you're full of energy and games, you're 1-0 up and games a little bit no. 28 matches, 2 goals, 3 assists. You won't have that off any other player. How many goals did he get last year? 2. Not 1 in 20 appearances he got. And then he got his 2 goals in FA Cup, which made you all the horniest men in the world. But if we had a better number 10, he'd be killing it, wouldn't he? That's what we all have to believe. Peru won't be getting tons more goals if we had a better number 10. It's just so rude. It's like, right, we're blaming Aaronson for everything else. So, let's have a look, right? What else can we blame him for? Like, my brother texts me. I told him, my brother texts me and says, Meslier is putting too much pressure on Joseph, because if Joseph only gets 1 goal, Meslier might let 1 in. So Joseph really needs to be getting 2 goals. It's like, you can't be putting that on Aaronson's doorstep. You cannot think that Aaronson's the best number 10 in the world, which is fine. That's your prerogative. I don't think he's the best number 10 in the world. I think we'll need to improve in that area when we go up, and certainly have more competition for the place. But in terms of it, other players getting on for ruining Joseph's chances is just so mental. It's so like... The problem is as well, I think people buy stuff like that because it's like... seems intellectual, doesn't it? It seems like my mind is working in this area. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you're not on my wave. Like, let me tell you this, and then you might be able to digest it. Like, everyone that watches your channel's dumb. Do you know what I mean? It's the worst thing. I think it's the worst thing in life, actually, when you talk to people. Don't talk to people if you don't think they've got something to offer back to you. It's like, if you don't think they're gonna engage in, like, you might learn something. What's the point in talking to people? People are so rude, and then when I think you just come up with bullshit like that, total utter crap, based on absolutely nothing, nonsensical stuff like that, that sounds like you're thinking like you close an envelope different to everybody else, you don't lick the fucking sides of it, like your shit don't touch fucking rim. Bullshit. Hey. Need to catch up here. I've gone on a bit of a rant there, boys. Apologies. Got me going, that one. I just thought that was one of the most mental takes I've ever heard in my whole life. 3 signings, 20 million to spend on each, or 3 signings with 20 million. Because then you'd be into my guy that came up the other day at defensive midfield of 3.3 million. What are he called? Didier Davila. I just think we need, when we go up, I think we need a centre, a number 10. We need a number 9. If this lad comes in, we'll have to have a proper look at him. But I think even then we probably still would need one. That's my only worry. You'd have to sort of back him. You'd have to go with him and Peru because they're not going to buy it again. And then a centre back. I would take that Amovadelli guy. He seems decent. He's been at a decent club. I try and get, I've said this loads of times, but I try and get like really established Premier League players that you just know a bit like what, because everybody's saying about Notts Forest, and I know I said this last week, so I do apologise, boys, but everybody's on about what they did and they went out and signed like 150 players. I don't think that's what's ended up giving them the success. They were shit when they first initially did that. And I know you've got to take time to get people to bed in and whatnot. But what they've actually done is gone and bought a load of like proper pros, like decent players. Chris Wood, obviously, who's absolutely on fire. That Gibbs White they got. That Gadger, that Elanga from Scum and stuff, So I just think you just get players like rejects. Like, I know I mentioned Emile Smith-Rowe the other day, and I can't remember where he went. But I'd be looking at players like that have been. He's at Fulham. Well, Fulham have been decent this year, and it's not because of Emile Smith-Rowe, but 4 goals, 2 assists in 21 matches. Again, it's not crazy numbers, but proper like established young, or not. They don't necessarily have to be young. I was a key component. I was banging on about Sean Langstaff, whatever you call him. I'd still take that this year, but I think we're actually good in centre mid when we go up next year. But people like Sean Longstaff, I got ridiculed for that, for saying that'd be a good sign. It'd be a brilliant signing. That you're off your beans if you don't think that's a good signing. He's been in Champions League. He's got, Newcastle have backed him. They still play him. It's like you cannot. Newcastle have been brilliant, and they're still. I mean, I haven't looked in, a couple of months to be fair, but I don't. It's the problem is, you say he's played 18 league games this season. It's like. The problem is you say you like a player, and then everybody sort of makes out you got a hard on for him or something. It's not. I don't care about Sean Longstaff. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't care less. But ultimately, signings like that'd be amazing. I mean, he's actually a player that plays. Again, he's only 27. He's coming into the prime of his life. If you could pick up players like that, somebody said last week, Scott McTominay. I hate Scott McTominay. What a knob. Like, he scored some goals against us and stuff, but you'd have to take Scott McTominay, wouldn't you? So, yeah, I'd be looking, Richard, I know I've banged on there, so I do apologise, but I'd be looking at players like that, that I just think are like established. I think we've just got to survive next year. We've got to do as well as we possibly can, obviously, try and push. I think we'll have a bit of a Premier League boom like we did a bit with Bielsa. I'm hoping Farke can get it going on. And we actually do really... It's the second season where that's where it happens, innit? So I think we've got a good chance of surviving. I also don't buy into... I know I'm well behind with comments here, guys, but I'll try to catch up. I also don't buy into the idea that all three teams have gone down from... that went up last year. I buy into the fact that that's happening, because that's a fact. But I don't think it matters. I don't think that makes... It don't make for good viewing. But, you know, I mean, Leicester are 17th at the moment. But Everton 16th, Tottenham are 15th, West Ham are 14th, Palace are 13th, Scum are 12th, Brentford are 11th, that's probably about right. And then in the top half, you've got Brighton, who are decent, Villa are obviously decent, but they nearly went down a couple of years ago. Bournemouth, who are traditionally shit. Fulham are in 10th, Brentford 11th. Notts Forest are 3rd in the league. Do you know what I mean? Some people have had them going down, so... You know, just because the three teams, you know, Wolves have now fallen, they weren't bad a couple of years ago. Crystal Palace are always in and around it. Everton have been shit for years, but they always hang on because there's always three teams a lot worse. I don't really care that them three teams are coming down. I agree, it doesn't do the league any good. It doesn't look good, but I don't think it's the be all and end all. I'm going to skip forward a bit here with comments, boys. Jonathan Wright says, do you think we'll get any incomings this window? That's what I'm saying. I was just saying about five minutes ago or so. So I'm hoping this, you know, this Cameron Archer fella's the first proper thing that's really come out in news. It concerns me that if that don't come in, it's the first time they've sort of stepped out in it and had it out in news. So AO says he's worried we're going to lose players through injury before the end of the season, which is going to hamper our promotion chances. Hashtag whinge. Well, I hope whatever it is, Wendy, I hope you get better soon, my dear. He's on 10 goals, I know. He does need to pick one up, though. Been a few games run. Ming's on the listen as well. He says it's good to hear from you. That romance continues with Ming and Bob. 78 RPM says some of the other channels were embarrassing after Burnley. I thought we'd lost 6-0 and were relegated. It was a decent point. It was a drab game. Obviously spoke about it, so I don't want to bore everybody with that game. You know, it's probably sooner left forgotten rather, but you know. If he does the business stuff, Fuzz, yeah, obviously, like, you know, 15 million, I don't really know what you can get for 15 million. Villa have just turned down apparently 60 million, haven't they, for Ollie Watkins, and they're trying to suggest that that's a cheeky offer. About 60 million for a 29-year-old Ollie Watkins who's had like one good season combined. I don't know, you know, he's banged in a few goals every now and again. 60 million, they want, you know, and saying that that's an embarrassing amount of money, you know. He's got 69 goals in 169 appearances for Villa, which, you know, is decent. 70, 140, so... I mean, there'll be some shits in there as well, won't there, but... He's decent, proper decent player, but, you know, 60 million is like, fucking hell. If you're getting... I think whoever at 49 is... You've got to back them with who they're bringing in currently. Every player they've brought in's been decent, so... Still don't rate Aaronson, says unambiguous. Okay as goals, but I really can't take to his style. It's a personal opinion. That's totally fine. I'm not, as I say, I just think Aaronson's getting unnecessary abuse. You know what I mean? He's not my favourite player in the world. I don't understand why we're so, like, you know, I mean, I've had seen takes on Twitter where it's like they've never seen him pour a player, and that is and I truly believe people think that. But I just think it's a narrative thing. It's always like people build these like bullshit boxes that players then get stuck in, and then they just go quiet when he has a good game. He's never like unbelievably standout or whatever, but I don't watch other competitors, dude. I also don't see them as competitors. I watch Lockie's channel. I don't think Lockie said that the Aaronson would be getting more goals. I don't think it were Lockie, but I get sent clips, you see, so people try to wind me up. I watch a few channels, but I don't watch a few. One City, one Leeds, one brain cell. Says Righteous One. Dick Dastardly's in the building. CB's in the building. You can never get another Chapman. Baller. Flip it. Aaronson would have far better stats if potential assists were converted by Joseph. Exactly, dude. Richard Todd says, would love a Chapman in this team. I was at Bournemouth when he scored that winner from a Kamara cross. 6,000 fans in car park. Get up. I think, no, I'll have been a young buck with Chapman, I think. I won't have known what was going on, but... Evening, Jack. Joseph has had 35 shots in 28 appearances, scoring 2. That's on him, nobody else. Aaronson is not responsible for that. Wilco White's coming in with the pelters. Surely Nottingham can sustain their current form. Not sure if you mean can or can't, but you know they're not going down, are they? That is for sure. Unambiguous says Aaronson is good now, but long term I believe he needs to be moved on. I don't know what his progression or capabilities are. Premiership is beyond him, but in other European leagues he may be more suited. I mean the leash will be significantly shorter next year. I think Rena said that about Farker, but you know that is, he will get it big style. Get yourself on the mend, Bob. I keep saying we're going for Matt Target. Do we need him? Is Firpo still going? Firpo won't leave till end of season. I mean, I've seen it about an hour ago about Matt Target. To be fair, again, you know, saying, you know, and then people are potentially on about Firpo leaving, but I don't think Firpo will be going till end of season. I don't really see it. He's not going to get. Nobody's going to buy him at this point. I can't. And I just don't think that Target's coming in. I honestly don't. I'm drinking Budweiser, Michael, as always, because it's on offer, and I'm a sucker for an offer. Yeah, it's I mean, if you could get, I mean, I know it's obvious to say this, but if you get someone like Solomon in, you know, in 10 row just for a few months, it'd be. But then, you know, then you'd want him in there, wouldn't you? Then you'd suddenly want him signed. So it's a, you know, you'd sign that Solomon, wouldn't you? To be fair, you'd sign the 10 version of Solomon. Ming, get it sorted with Wendy. He's in your. I'm going to say he's in your box, but I don't mean it like that. Mark Jones says you did start the channel in the Championship the other day when Stig was getting pissed on the chairs. Long, I don't watch you long. Yeah, I know. On the shares long. Shares long all day long on the shares long. Yeah, they were the days, weren't they? He is still alive. I saw a stat actually. I wrote this down because it said I couldn't even be bothered opening the article. But the article said, I thought I wrote it down, where have I put it? No, I can't put it, apologies. But it said, something like Tyler Adams has done for Bournemouth what he never did for Leeds United. And I thought, what, played a fucking run of games? But I'm not even opening that up. Unambiguous Rafinha, 18 million, you can't... No way you're knocking. I know you're not unambiguous, but you know, for Orta to bring him in, you know, whatever he did. Not as of yet, Tom. Not unless there's something going on in the background right now. Been missing your input. Always missing Bob's input. Whatever squad we have, 2 or 3 players will always take shit. Some fans roll that way. 100% 78 RPM. That's what does it's the only thing that does my head in. As I say, it's this. I don't know who fuels it necessarily. I don't know who builds it up into being what it becomes. But Yeah, it's from somewhere, and it garners weight pretty quickly, and then everybody starts to think it, and then then that becomes popular on Twitter. So you get, and people are just on it, truly desperate for engagement, like truly desperate for engagement. And there's an element, I try not to bullshit anybody on this channel. So obviously, I do the videos. I don't do them. I genuinely do them to talk to everybody and stuff, and I want to have these interactions. And I can't believe, there's 100 people in the room now watching this. It's mad to me, but I don't do the, once I started the channel just to see what happened. Then as it went well, I still look at the views. I want the views to go well, but what I'm unwilling to do, it's like my video from yesterday didn't get the views that I've been getting over the past couple of weeks, Nature at Beast. But I am like, I'd have liked it if more people had seen that video. Do you know what I mean? I do think I am wasting my time, taking my time to do it. So I understand that people want the engagement, but what I'm unwilling to do is like lie, or I'll put clickbait up, so I don't want anybody calling me out for the clickbait. Clickbait's clickbait, and it'll always come. I'm not reporting on anything, but I'm only talking about what the articles are, what they're saying. I couldn't care less. But yeah, in terms of, I can't do it. That's not why I'm here. I literally can't feel like I can't lie. I feel like my soul dies if I lie. I really do. Lying, I think, is the worst thing ever. And I just think some people are willing to just talk shit, just total shit. And I don't know. I'm not saying I don't talk shit. I'm sure loads of people hate me on here. I know they do. I get loads of pelters. But my point is, I don't deliberately talk shit. And I just think some of the takes some people have, I just think, how can we pretend you're not talking shit deliberately here? To say that Joseph would get more goals if we had a better number 10 is shit. It's total shit talk. It is not Aaronson's fault that Joseph can't score. That is shit talk. Hope you're well too, Rick. Rotate Aaronson and Ramazani and get Archer bid done. We'll make our season. Matching on together. I keep saying it. I think Ramazani's the only one in the 10 that could do that. The only winger that could do it. And we've had a look at all of us. That seems to be the least that we look at with Ramazani. And I also think it's getting Ramazani in the squad, which is what or certainly giving him more time. I think there's got to be an occasion where we can leave Solomon and James on, or bring Nonto on, and Ramazani without bringing both wingers off, and get Ramazani in that 10 role. But I understand why people don't like the idea of that as well, because I don't think the 10s traditionally have worked. I think we're a bit stung with Parisi going in that 10 role, because I know a lot of people absolutely detest that. So I understand why there's and I do think it's a specialised position, which obviously it is. They all are to some extent, but I just think wingers are much of a muchness. There's shitloads of wingers. If you put a decent winger in a mint side, it'll give you decent numbers. Do you know what I mean? I think it's very hard, and I think you're looked at very quickly. It's like being up top on your own. You're looking at Peru's goals. You're looking at Aaronson. What is Aaronson contributing? I think James can go. Well, he doesn't, but I'm saying he can go quiet for a few games, and I don't think the spotlight's on him. Solomon could go quiet for a few games. Ramazani could go quiet. Nonto could go quiet, and there's nobody until the spotlight's on them, then they're fucked. But I think they've got a longer tether. They've got a longer rope. I think when you're in that number 9 role and you've not scored for 3 games, I think people are onto you. Whereas I think James could go 5 games, still playing well, still assisting, looking like he's contributing, still getting at his left back. And then you go, do you know he's not scored in 6 games? And you'd be like, oh, what? And then the pylon comes. They still get the pylon. I just think it takes a little bit longer to get round to it. Which I think is what's happening to Aaronson, basically. I think and then once they're on him, it's never going to leave. He has 2 good games on bounce, then they're just waiting for the next. And I think it's really harsh on Aaronson to say that he's not been good in every game. I think he's been genuinely decent in most games. I think he's been consistently decent. That doesn't mean he's You know, there's been games where Solomon's just been awesome, and there's been games where Bo's been awesome. There's been games where James has been awesome. There's been games where Peru's not been awesome, but he's got a couple of goals, or he's scored a mint goal, and you think, yeah, fine. Do you know what I mean? Ramazani's been awesome. Nonto's probably the only one that you'd say hasn't had a standout game, but he's still got 5 goals or whatever he's got. Got them all quite early. I know 5 goals, 5 assists, but you know, there's few games where Aaronson's been the number 10, the rutter. You know, where you just every week you're like, he can actually change the game. But not everybody's role is that either. So, but anyway, it's enough fucking talk about Aaronson. Going off on one again. If we win playoff final on Penn's Fark, we'll have a gimp mask on, not a leash. Love it from the righteous one, bringing the pelters as always. Duck Fuss says, any other club in Championship, Brendan walks into the starting lineup. He's a 25 million, which doesn't help his cause either, but he's a 25 million midfielder, isn't he? So if we go up, Jack, who goes and who stays? That's a whopping question, isn't it? I think a lot more stay than we think. And then I just think the obvious ones go. I think Firpo probably go. I think Bamford will go. I think he'll have to go because I think we'll force him out. And rightly so at this point, you know, can't play. And then I'm struggling. I don't think we'll get rid of as many as people sort of make out. And I still maintain, like, even Mez, I think he will be our number 1 goalkeeper next year. Rightly or wrongly, I don't want to get into it, but CB says he could probably use a rest, to be honest. I agree. He could do with some help in there just to, you know, I disagree with the idea that these players will burn out, but, you know, to some extent, Aaronson's the only one at risk of doing that. What's good, Kevin? Wigan White's loyal. Steve Lowe wants another Sniffer Clark in there. Unambiguous says 1 in 10 ought to signed a gem. That rhymes. 1 in 10 ought to signed a gem. Da 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 da. Marco Marcella says, what have I missed? I'd like to think loads, but in reality probably not, mate. What I would say is I always write some stuff down on my notes, because when I first started doing this, the comments were a bit barren. And now I'm like, I never get to what I want to talk about. So you are all sensational, so I proper appreciate it. But do not stop, because I prefer just talking to you, to be fair. I'm going to try and get Joe on it next couple of weeks as well. He's up for coming on, I asked him, so... CB, get the like in, brother. Bang them likes up for me. What likes are we on, boys? 70 likes. 97 people in the room, guys. You're absolute legend. Mark John says, you do your channel right, Jack, talking to people through the chat all the time. Whereas Joe's channel is just about him and you can't get a word. To be fair to Joe, he gets pelters, dude. He gets pelters as in, you know, there's like 5,000 people, you know, all honing in, watching, you know. Joe's awesome at what he does. Right, just one says, you're the real one. This is obviously, I'm getting to these comments when I was on my rampage about my channel, but I wasn't fishing for compliments, but I appreciate you, righteous one. I watched the video, Jack. My favourite line was, you'd take a player like Tanaka even if he couldn't play football. Yes, I don't watch my videos back, but I thought that one's going to come back to bite me, but nobody actually mentioned it on the video, so... Matthew Hall says, can we get a decent set piece coach? So many corners wasted. Yes, please. Kevin Otto says, you know your stuff, Jack, would not worry about it. Thank you, dude. It's Ripper, evening, Jack and all. Glad to catch you live, pal. Good to see you here, brother. Set piece coach, Matthew Hall. This is where I'm living. Like, let's get that in and on and over here. Wilco White says, Ramazani in the test 10, yes, 100%. I get so much stick for that as well, like elsewhere, but I think he's the only one that can do it. I think he's really good on half turn. You know, we've tried Nonto in there, to be fair, and I do think Nonto's probably got it in his locker, but I just think Ramazani, he comes narrow quite often anyway, so it'd be You know, he'd want to be coming inside anyway. So I just think he's really good on half turn, and he's got good vision. He's got a good strike, left or right foot. I think that's his way forward. I don't take offence to that, CB, but Joe can't do all about that. It's, you know, the comments are phenomenal. But yeah, the channel is smaller. So much like other things that in comparison to Joe, it's all smaller. I wouldn't know, guys. I wouldn't know. I don't know him that well yet. Do we have a designated attacking / finishing coach? I'm not too sure and ambiguous. You can only hope so, but... The 10 never used to be a problem in 4-4-2, asked Bobby Davison. Well, 4-4-2 never had the 10, did it? But, well, 4-4-2 created the 10. The 10 became a thing, didn't it? About, like, you know, because when it was 4-4-2, you know, like Teddy Sheringham and whoever he were up top with, I don't know why I always end up talking about Man U, but it's just like, obviously, when I was young, they sort of like, they did define quite a lot of football, didn't they? But yeah, the 10 used to just be anybody that played Defoe and Crouch, Robbie Keane and Crouch. It's not everybody with Crouch, by the way, but Robbie Keane and Defoe, I'm sure, used to do bits. Berbatov and Defoe, Berbatov and Crouch, they went through a fair few number 9s and 10s, didn't the Spurs? Robbie Keane with us and Viduka, Smith with Viduka. You know, you'd argue, really, Smith were a 10 traditionally, wasn't he? This idea that the 10's become a more... I mean, Andrea says a lot that the 10's a midfielder, which I agree with him, but I don't... Not wholeheartedly. I don't think they are midfielders, really. I agree they're getting closer and closer to midfield, and they're becoming more like... You know, I mean, De Bruyne is a number 10, isn't he? But he could play centre mid. But that'd make him a midfielder. He could also... I mean, De Bruyne could play anyway. He could play up top on his own, could De Bruyne. But my point is... They're not quite midfielders, but they're also not number 9s anymore. It used to be like somebody that always came short, wasn't it? That'd be the 10. That's the argument that they'd make. I'm trying to think of other iconic 10s. I don't know. There must be plenty at Milan and teams like that, to be fair. Shit, this is going to fall, boys. I need to sort this out right now before there's a fucking £1,000 casualty here. Sorry, guys. Back in the room, my brother would never forgive me if the camera went down, so that needed sorting. Yeah, think of some other 9s and 10s in history. Ming handing out them memberships like it's Christmas. My guy's in and on and over here yet again. Sean Healy don't come onto my lives. No, Andy, no, he's not bothered for me. But yeah, he provides the pelter. He provides the pelters in Joe's, doesn't he? Biddly Bow and Crouch. Yeah, the Badger and Crouch should have worked. Biddly Bow and Crouch should have worked. Are we ever getting a masterclass in how memberships work? I don't know how they work. I honestly don't. Ming said other week that you click this, you click the dollar sign at the bottom. Show your support, it says. You click that, but... Did he now? Well, hopefully, you know, as our relationship grows, I'll watch him grow as well. Yeah, I think, to be fair, I never know. You never know with comment. That's why I won't block anyone. Like, you know, I think some people do genuinely detest me, but majority of people, I think, are just having a bit of fun, really. And then there is the odd one that I actually think I really get on the tits, and that is totally fine. On that as well, Neil Skepper, he's also in and around it a lot often, isn't he? So, you know, it's not all like everybody bangs on about like goals and assists, and obviously that's unbelievably important, but you know, he goes around. I know nobody likes saying when he's winning the ball, but he does win the ball, he pressurises a lot. But just that aside, there must be loads where, like, you know, an assist for an assist and stuff. And I know you can't do it like that because then it never ends. It's like, well, I won an header 2 weeks ago, and ultimately, if I hadn't won that header, we wouldn't have got, you know, we wouldn't have got the confidence 4 months later. It's like, you know, so I'm not saying it goes on forever, but, you know, there's got to be an element where there's more to it than just the gadget that whips it in and the guy that heads it home. Do you know what I mean? Like, extremely important that people do that, but it's also extremely important that people are just, at least he's zippy, isn't he, Aaronson? He gets it about enough. 6 weeks ago, Dan was your man. Now he tired and not mentioned as a Premier League standard player. From me, Andy, I love Dan James, brother. I have not said all about against that. He now showing the love for our Ripper. He's unambiguous a rapper. I thought it was a Righteous One that was a rapper. Yes, Oliver. Yes, Righteous One. Welcome to the squad. Neil Skepper, welcome to the squad. Appreciate you. I got with the help of I got to 50 subscribers last week, which is absolutely nuts, guys. It's truly insane in the membrane, and it was thanks to Ming and Hummers11. Righteous One says, I'll show you how memberships work. Oliver, I want to get to this question right quick. Jack, sorry Jack for the tough questions. 1 signing, a 9, a 10, or a left back? I'd go with a 9 on the basis that I think Aaronson will hold up, number 1. Number 2, I think Aaronson will hold. My bird's pestering me here, sorry boys. Aaronson will hold up enough in the 10, and I think if we get a 9, I know nobody likes the idea, but Parizli can do the 10 role also. So if we could only pick one, I would go with a 9. I wouldn't go with the left backs. I think Byram's got it on lockdown. I think Firpo's probably the best left back in the league. So yeah, I can't profess to be into, I don't know about Cascarano. CB, welcome to the team, brother. Thank you for the subscription. Oi, oi, members incoming. Yes, indeed, Ming. Thank you, boys. You're absolute legends. .78 RPM says, KG blocks trolls, Joe fights them. I think your chilled approach is probably best, as ignored they just go elsewhere anyway. Yeah, I do just ignore, to be fair, 78. I don't really... It does resonate though. It'd be I understand why people get raggy about it or block them. In fairness, it does resonate. 'Cause it's like, you know, sometimes you wake up and you're not in best of moods. But I'm quite, you know, I just treat it a bit like a pub. Do you know what I mean? Like I just think if I bumped into these people, I don't. You know, the amount of people that say, for instance, like the channel, and then they'll comment saying, "Oh, I saw you yesterday." Something I'm like, "Oh, you should have shouted me," and they're like, "Oh no, man, like no, you know, I don't like." And I'm only saying you should have shouted me because I'd be like, "I appreciate you watching." It's more for me to say to you, like, "Cheers for watching." Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's funny because most people are just like, "Oh, you know." So for me, you can't take. I don't want any praise. And but equally, I don't want any criticism. It's just like, this is just nonsense. Do you know what I mean? I feel the same about my music. It's like, I don't. If anybody says, "Oh, I really like your music," I really appreciate it. But if you don't, just shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care if you do or you don't. It's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not why I do it. But yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, just ignore them. They do go away, and then they come back when we've lost a couple of games on bounce, and as though it's like. Ming has been a member for 4 months, which is legendary. Diggler TC says, in the presser chat, there was so much whinging, especially about Aaronson and Farker. All whinges out with all. Not me, though. Good lad, Diggler. I know. My issue with it is, Diggler TC, you're one of the good uns. You're one of the many good uns. 99% of people on my channel are the good uns. The problem is, when we go up, it's going to collapse, isn't it? And unless we finish like 8th, where the whingers just can't whinge, between 8th and sort of 13th by the end of the season, if we go on a good run, for me, if we don't start the season well, if we're sat in 15th, 8 games in, I think Farker's doomed by the fan base, or the loud fan base. I think if we're 8th, 15 games in, he'll get away with it, or 8th to 12th, he'll get away with it by the knobheads, and then we can slip down a little bit, and I think people will leave him alone. But if it doesn't start well, it's going to be, I fucking told you he was not good enough for the Premier League. I didn't want him in the Championship. I don't care if he got us promoted. Anybody, a duck could have got us promoted. It's like, oh. I'm going to end this poll, actually, guys. I've just realised that 111 votes. Shout out to you guys. That is the best amount of votes I've ever had in my life. Granted, the poll's been there for an hour and whatever, an hour and however long, hour and 20 minutes, but shout out to you guys, 111 votes. I feel like it's actually like we've had a referendum, guys, a fucking referendum. 78% have said yes, we will end the season as champions. 22% said no. Here's my guy Hummers, who were handing them out of the week like it was Christmas, my guy. AO says, I hate rap music, but Jack is good rocking the mic. Thank you very much, sir. I'll take it. CB says, it's always the same in the presser chat. The whingers seem to moan about anything, he says. It's just, and the thing is as well, CB, he doesn't even say alt, does he, in these pressers? He just wobbles on about alt, and he just waffles on. It's like, what's he even saying to like getting you so pissed off? I lost my shit watching the presser when Rutter was going. Good times. The Rutter one at the start of the season really got me. Righteous once has got more votes than Keir Starmer. Ming says the pole tamer. Elmi says Ramazani should play in the 10. Agreed. Well, not agreed. I agree it's an option. I don't think we have to do that. I just think, oh my word, Hummers is here. Hummers is here. Naughty Mark 73 gets one, Paul Robbie gets one, Formula Sonny gets one, Kyle B gets one, Chris Walker gets one. My man Hummer's handing them out like it's Christmas. The presser chat was wild, a load of men crying. That's the thing, innit? It's like grown men like that, you know, got like genuine, you know, I've got not genuine issues in my life, but everybody's got their shit to deal with, haven't they? And like, I'm so for football, guys. I'm so mad about it. I get so pissed off and I get raggy and all this stuff. But come on. Do you know what I mean? There's got to be a point where you just go, right, just remember what this is. As I say every time, it's the city of Leeds that means more to me than the game of football. Do you know what I mean? As it always will do. That's why I support Leeds. If I wanted to just follow football, I'd just watch, which I do follow football, you know, follow Premier League and stuff, which can get a bit boring and a bit drab. But I do like the Premier League. But, you know, I'd just pick a side and just think, and just follow them. Do you know what I mean? Like blindly, like, but I wouldn't have the love for it. Do you know what I mean? I love Leeds. And I'm not saying you have to be from Leeds, because you don't. Like I said before, you don't have to watch Leeds if you're not. You don't have to watch every game. I said this other week, but you don't have to be all over it, 110%. You don't have to know who's maybe coming in and who's maybe not, or not on Saturday morning. You don't need to know who's injured or, you know, who's in starting lineup. If you don't care about stuff, you don't care about stuff. You support them. You know, just stay out at chat, giving it big licks to Farker. Do you know what I mean? He's the current Leeds manager. Get behind the boy. The bloke's a beast. S4SNOW, which sort of says snow, so for snow says, what is the issue with Isaac Smith, who's brought in as a left back? I have to say now at this point, I think there is an issue with Isaac Schmidt. Not necessarily an issue with him. Well, it is his issue, but whether or not he's good enough or whether Farker rates him. There's also some rumblings. I don't want to put words in Lockie or Joe's mouth because this might not be from them, so please do take this loose quote with a pinch of salt. But I think it was Lockie that said it might be Joe. Just ignore somebody. I'm not making this up. Somebody said this, that they have it on. They reckon there's a chance that Schmidt wasn't one of Farker's signings. Now, take them two people out of it because I don't want to talk about Lockie and Joe because I'm not certain, I've had a beer. But it was said that if he didn't sign him, would Farker not play him? Now, we all agreed that he would definitely play him. If he's good enough, he'll play him. I don't care whether he's there signing or not. But if he's not brought him through the door, there was some talk that it's potentially not a Farker signing. So much like Kamara wasn't a Farker signing, Farker wanted Tanaka, got what's his face, Kamara out the door. He was actually apparently on about a big move to fucking. He's off to the Saudis. Is Kamara? He might be off to the Saudis. I don't know whether that's died down, to be fair, but I mean, I don't blame Kamara if he does. I don't blame that kid. I don't know why everybody gets so fucking I don't understand why people get their knickers in such a twist. Oh, mind you, they're on about Middlesbrough again now. No, but agreement in principle for Glenn Kamara to join Al Shabab, which sounds like something you eat in early morning. I mean, he'd be on dummy money, won't he? And with the greatest respect to Kamara, I thought it was brilliant for us, but he doesn't deserve dummy money, does he? But for me, it was that young kid, that gadget that's off to. He's a Villa striker, and that's off to Saudi. John Duran. Everybody's going mental about it. Like, there's got to be a little bit of jealousy in there, aren't there? Who cares? If he don't care, why do you care? I've said this a million times. I'm going to say it a million more, but I'm definitely going to say it once more now. If every single current Leeds United player went to go play in Saudi Arabia, I would not go watch that team in Saudi Arabia. My favourite players, like in world football, off the top of my head, are like Messi, De Bruyne. I like watching Haaland. I think Bernardo Silva's mint. I'm just mentioning Man City side now, but let me think of some others. I obviously love Rafinha at Barcelona. I'll be better off naming some older players, really, but like Ibrahimovic and all the old AC Milan team, whatever. If it was all in the prime now, Zidane's at World, and that I'd actually like Zidane as a guy, but as a footballer, not as a guy. Regardless, if they all went to Saudi, it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference. It'd just go back to what we all bang on about, what everybody wants. Like, it'd be like the Billy Bremners of the world had come back, wouldn't they? These players will still get regenerated. They'll just all be from Leeds, won't they? I'm not gonna follow De Bruyne to watch some shit footballing. I know the argument is, if they all go there, it'll be a decent standard, but we're watching Championship football. We're not watching it because it's a decent standard. It is a decent standard, but we're watching it because Leeds United are involved. It's not because, you don't put up with, I like Meslier Silent S, but, people don't. So people are not putting up with it because they think Meslier is the best keeper in the world, or Rodon's the best centre-back, or Tanaka's the best centre-mid in the world, which some people have also said, but it won't matter. Do you see what I mean? So it's not, who cares if let them all go? Who gives a shit? Nobody watched the Chinese league, did they, when Oscar were going there and whoever else went there? That Portuguese fella that had played about 10 games and he went over there. I think that massive Italian guy went. That big striker guy, I can't remember. Just let him go. Who cares? What are you so radgy about it for? Let him go and make loads of pee. If he's not bothered about what level of football he plays, if he wants to come down and play for Dog and Duck, let him. Who cares? Everybody's so passionately pissed off about such nonsense stuff. Who cares? That's what I'm saying. Richard Mel says, do you think Leeds will bring a couple of players in before the window closes? I'm becoming increasingly less sure. I think one. I think if this fella don't come through, this Cameron Archer guy, I think it's getting a little bit. I think it might be barren. Let's try to see if it's out in the last hour or so. The headline says, "Stay with us. Players down the Archer transfer talk amid speculation." It's still on the move, isn't it? Hummers knows how to bring the members in. Hummers is the man. I hope the bloke owns a Hummer. Certainly deserves one. Ena said, "I just watched Connor before the presser, so I wasn't mentally stable, to be fair. I honestly don't think Daniel Farker gets a long leash if we go up. Staying up is too valuable to the 49ers. Andy Rose says, "Leeds are fickle, changeable fans. I do admit to changing my mind, but constructively. I think you spend most of the time not knowing what side your mind's at, Andy, and you just don't wind up. You got more names on here than bloody..." I do this joke every time and I can never think of a summit. Righteous one, to be fair, dude, that's a really logistic way of thinking about it with Schmidt. Pecking order, Furpo, Byram, Wibbling Wobber, Schmidt. It's just when we've had... there was one opportunity to bring him on where it were like everybody's had it and he didn't, and I just thought something's not right here. Take it easy, Kevin. Appreciate you joining us, man. You ledge. Richard Todd says, "Back the club or move on. Get up." Ming says, "Smith stuff is really crazy." Andy Rose says, "When I played rugby on a Saturday, first job when in the clubhouse was, how did Leeds United get on today?" This was before social media. Well, not playing rugby, because I'd rather eat my own teeth than play rugby, but which is often, to be fair, what you end up doing when you play rugby, but it's not knocking anybody that plays rugby. Maybe save for the running or getting promoted. I don't know about that, That's wishful thinking. Matthew Hall says, "Fans think they can manage a team better than Farker, but don't see what happens in training and not looking more than one match ahead in a week with 2 or 3 matches." 100%, and they're not looking at... That's what I keep saying about Farker. He's looking at the whole... We're getting sign language out here. The whole pictures. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's looking at the whole wide picture in his brain because he don't care. He will take the... That's what I love about him, to be fair. He'll take the shtick. He'll take the bullshit for the draw at Burnley, the 0-0 draw that everybody detested. He'll take it, and, because he's looking at going up. That's all he cares about, because he knows his job's on the line. He's getting us up. He's getting us up. You can't beat a lovely Al-Shabaab with some mint sauce, says Jaggy Babs. Righteous one says, "Tony went over there as well in his prime." Yeah, I mean, people are saying, "Oh, but it's not the same as Tony." Like, it's not the same because he's towards the latter end of his career and nobody give him contracts and that. Like, well, why does it matter if you're this competitive bloke, if you just want to play at the highest level? Why is Tony like dropping the ball then? No. They can do what they want, can these lads? Let them do whatever they want. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault that they get. It's not their fault they're getting paid a dump load of money. If I got paid a load more money for doing my job, I'd get paid a load more money for doing my job. Whether I'd want to or not's a different thing. In my brain now, I'd think, no, if I played for Leeds, I'd want to stay at Leeds. But I'm sure Calvin Phillips felt like that, and then he got asked to go to Man City and thought, well, let's go see what I can do. Spoke to his family. Let's go see what I can do. Steven Gerrard stayed at Liverpool. There was also, I think that's romanticised a little bit, because there's also loads of rumours that when like Real Madrid were coming in for him, he were in a lot of trouble. He'd been like beating that DJ up in club ante at Liverpool and stuff. So there were loads of talks about, like, loads of rumours saying that he wasn't actually, criminally allowed to be going type of thing. It won't be viewed very well and all that stuff. But and he always says, "Oh, my head were turned, but I never went through with it." You just don't know with people. They just talk shit. And like, there's a Hasselbank interview that I'd actually covered on my very serious media channel. We covered that over at only City Leeds fans, and they said only Leeds fans then. We covered it, and Hasselbank were like, O'Leary didn't want me. There's conversations had in the room, do you know what I mean, that we're not privy to. And Hasselbank's adamant that they just sold him down river. I mean, he had my brother at the time when we was young. That's what I mean. When you're 27 or something, 22 and up, you've got no excuse for being like that emotional about football. But when you're 15, 16 and Hasselbank's leaving the club, my brother's burning his shirt or ripping out letters off of his back. I get it. Do you know what I mean? Don't get what's going on. My brother don't think like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like mad in the time. But funny because obviously at the time they're quite flat to the back now, aren't they? The letters. They're like, I don't know, like that is sort of like, I don't know how they get it on. It must be like heated on or whatever. But it's you could peel it off. And it would leave a mark, but back when in the Hasselbank days on them, they were like really thick, weren't they? They were like bubbles. So, and he'd pulled it off, and to be honest, you could tell more what it said when he'd taken it off than when he'd left it on. But that was also good because it was kind of obvious. It was like, right, taking these letters off. So it actually looked better. Sacrifice. That's what it's all about. Jaggy Bab says, one good season and set for life. Can't blame the lad at all. That's what I mean. Just literally, I don't want to be that guy, but generational wealth. Can you imagine explaining to your mum, do you know what I mean, who's had no her whole life and just go, hey, mum, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice a few years. I reckon I'll still get a move back to Premier League and I might not be the player that I would have been by the time I'm 30 or whatever, but I'm off to go make 700 million. What do you reckon? Do you know what I mean? So none of my brother's kids have to work for the rest of the life. Still got to go make some money though. They've got to do something that they want to do. They can't just dope it up. But we're talking generational wealth. We're talking like kings and queens wealth, not just a decent living. I mean, money doesn't last anyway, does it? But money talks, and you just cannot blame these lads. Not so long ago, players went to play in America. Exactly. Not for... I mean, that's also a lifestyle thing, but, they get treated like frigging gods, don't they? And so they say in Saudi and stuff when they go over there. Get all best apartments and the finest treats. Jack, would you take Rashford at Leeds? Just think how many poverty kids he would inspire and around. Well, we started this chat on Rashford, didn't we? But, I mean, you take Rashford at Leeds. But as great as it'd be for the kids, I wouldn't sign him for that reason. But you'd have him, wouldn't you? There's no doubt about that. Perhaps the outrage is due to a generational shift from following teams to following individual players. Legendary MVG. To digest that slightly. I don't think anybody does follow individual players. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'd sort of argue back in the day you followed both. That's what I'm saying with the Bremners and the Eddie Greys, Norman Hunters and stuff. Them names are. I know we won a lot with them. Well, we did really well with them, but their names are etched in Leeds United stone, aren't they, in history. That's what I'm saying. If when Rafinha went to Barcelona, I didn't start supporting Barcelona. I don't think players do follow. I follow Messi more than anyone. My whole life, I've followed Messi, and I kept up. I didn't keep up with it because I didn't care where they were in league and stuff. But I watched the highlights, and I've stopped now. So it's like, and maybe I'm old. Maybe youngsters will follow them to Saudi Arabia, but I'm still going to be a supporting Leeds when they all piss off to Saudi. They're not going to take them. They're not going to want them. They're not going to want to go. Let a few lads go. Who cares? Richard Todd, how many signings have the media got right? Silence is golden. Je ne sais quoi, dude. You got to define a howler for me, Andy. He certainly does not, Hank. And it would no doubt spur him on. No doubt. Sakamoto thinks he'll play Schmidt at some point. I just think that opportunity he had to play him and he didn't play him was like the... It said a lot to me, that. Righteous one says, I'll admit I was fuming when Smith went to Scum. I was an angry 15-year-old then. I would have been a very similar age, Righteous one. It did my head in. It still would do my head in if they went to Scum. I can't. I struggle with that one. But I'm not, you know, if I saw Smith in the street, do you know what I mean? I'd probably shout him over. This is what I mean. It's like, how angry are you about it? This guy will come back after 2 years and be 23. That's what I mean. With probably like 20 odd million in his bank account. Andy Rose says, I don't know if I want to get into this, Andy, but Joe was saying 49ers not welcoming in, answering certain leading content creators into collaborating in projects and charity football matches. They appear to keep the plebs at arm's length. I don't know what you mean there, dude. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that means. Duckfoot, this is what I mean on this channel, man. It's like, you know, you see so much shit online and stuff, and then when I'm talking, and then it's just like, you know, what's the difference in going to Man City for big money or going to Saudi and cashing in? What's the difference? Nobody would say about him going to Man City. If he got signed to Man City and never played, which would probably happen, if Man City came in for John Duran, they'd sign him, he'd never play, and everybody would go, well, you know, and then it'd ruin his career, and then nobody'd give a shit about him in 3 years when his contract's over, and then he comes out of that and he goes, well, what do I do now? And he ends up playing for a championship side. What's better for his career, really? Or then going to Saudi and cashing in? This is what I mean about a channel, man. That's why I love doing it. So I say some stuff and then I think, you know, because you see a certain narrative, a certain bullshit thing, and then my man Ducky Fuzz, whoever Ducky Fuzz is, do you know what I mean, comes in and just like, yeah, zits nail on head. Like Bosch. What is the difference from going to Man City, and I'm going to add in a bit there, for big money and not playing a single game for 3 years, ruining your career, and then falling down through the fucking whole system when no one cares about you, no one remembers your name, no one cares about you, or going to Saudi Arabia for 2 years, making a shit ton of cash, coming back and going like, oh, hello guys, I'm back now, I don't know, who's 15th in league, in Premier League, do you want to sign me? Saudi want rid of me, or I've finished my contract, I want to come back. And then, I don't know, who's 15th in Premier League right here, right now. Let's have a look. Tottenham. Maybe not Tottenham for John Duran when he comes back, but, you know, 2 up, Crystal Palace, West Ham, 2 down, Everton, Leicester. All 4 of them take John Duran when he comes back from Saudi in 2 years. Let's have it right. Top stuff, Ducky Fuzz. Well done. Yes, Eric. Do not fear, dude. Thank you for dropping in regardless. He's 21, I think, Ming, yeah. My new best mate. I think he's 21. I know, because the problem is everybody's saying that he's a hot prospect and all this shit. Yeah, he's 21. Why does it matter? Andy Ross says, I never really rated Alan Smith. I don't deny he made an explosive start against Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, I liked Alan Smith, to be fair. I mean, I actually ridiculed him once when which I quite enjoyed doing, to be fair, but I backed Bamford a few years ago, which is one of the videos that went really well early doors. Because I put, is it time to blame Bamford? And then the amount of brand new comments I got, probably a lot from you guys, to be fair, this was years ago, just said, I thought this would be one of them things. And I was like, oh no, we're not doing that over here. And then I got loads of subscribers from that. But again, because I feel like people understand like when somebody's telling the truth. But I enjoyed going through Alan Smith's stats and then comparing it to Bamford. And this is not, I'm not talking now because Bamford's too injury prone and stuff, but a few years ago, I think we're still in I think we'd just gone into Premier League at this point, or something, I don't know when it was. But he was playing plenty and he was getting enough goals, and his stats were just so much better than Smith's. And, you know, you could argue Smith were playing at a higher level in a sense, there's more asked of him. But, you know, I think it's harder to get goals. I think one of the best goal scoring seasons I can remember in my lifetime would be like Kevin Phillips at Sunderland when he just got, I think he got Golden Boot that year, wasn't he? You know, and with the greatest respect to Sunderland, they were shit, weren't they? And he got Golden Boot. I mean, it's wild, is that? He scored 30 Premier League goals, earned himself a place in PFA Team of the Year for Sunderland in 1999. I don't know where they finished. They finished 7th, which is obviously phenomenal finish as well. But to get 30 goals for a Sunderland side, I honestly think, I didn't know it was 30. I knew it were high. Do you know what I mean? That really takes some... Hang on a minute. Winning the European Golden Shoe. What's the European one? Has he got leading goal scorer from the top division of a European National League? Oh, that just means I don't know whether that means the whole of Europe, but I doubt it means the whole of Europe, to be fair. 30 goals in a season is wild, and Kevin Phillips got that. So that to me means a lot more than, and I think Haaland's splendid. But you know, there's something to a bloke getting 30 goals for a Sunderland side, isn't there? Sakamoto, it keeps him out of bother, doesn't it? Keeps him up straight and narrow. 100% AO. They do get over there, and then, you know, legs start wobbling. Matthew Hall, the Saudi Qatar League is not sustainable in buying end-of-career players with no big sell-on fees, lasting longer than the Chinese Super League. But money only lasts so long. I think they get bored of putting it in. I think there's a chance they'll take over with boxing. So I think there's a different dynamic there. I think, you know, because you can buy individual fights and you can try to bring people over for that, and you can build stuff. But that's what I'm saying. In terms of football, it's I'm a Leeds fan. I don't give a fuck who leaves or who comes in. I do, but I don't follow them out of the door. Do you know what I mean? It's just... It's not fair for Messi to be that good that they should have made him play in slippers. Yeah, just to try and, you know, try and even it out a little bit. SST, what's good, brother? I didn't know you were in here. Kevin Phillips got on the end of 300 Niall Quinn knockdowns. Yeah, man, that will be a legit statistic of that. There's no doubt. Archer can also play at number 10. Yes, Paul. So, because I had Archer down as a bit of a winger, really, but he is. I think he can play across the front line, really. On his transfer market, which they like highlighting like bigger to small, he's number 10 wide right, and then up top's his preferred position. Main position centre forward, other position second striker, which is the number 10, and then right winger. So yeah. Rich Sullivan, evening Jack, how goes? Smudgy going to Scum made me angry at first, but then it just hurt seeing him in that shirt. Yeah, it won't great. Wasn't a great time. My mate's got a story about Smith. He reckons he told him to F off in swimming pool. He were only about 10. He said he asked him for a picture and he told him to fuck off. But as I've got older, I thought, I'm not so sure about that. But also, it won't surprise me. He were at Leeds at the time. But I liked Smith. What's Brighton and Brentford's secret in finding gems 18 months before the cat's out the bag? Well, you know, you're better off asking Lockie that. But if I knew that, I'd probably be on some peas, wouldn't I? Probably be alright, wouldn't I? Bespoke scouting algorithms. They're all on. That's the problem with it now, innit? I don't even think, you know, they send people, they're watching videos relentlessly, like some of the lengths that Lockie goes to find players and stuff. It's wild, like the amount of football. And you're not just watching football games, like, you know, scouts traditionally back in the day would go to watch a game, wouldn't they? And they'd think, right, who stands out, sitting stands, who stands out. I don't know any of these players to some extent, you know what I mean? They'll all have a bit of knowledge, but Lockie gets asked to watch like a player. There's just one player. Do you remember that player cam that collapsed at Sky Sports when they tried that? Like one of the new things that they tried years ago. That must be in Andy Gray times. And they'd there'd be player cam, so you just put player cam on and watch him, like zooming on him, just moving around. It's like, and then they soon got rid of that. It's like, this is a waste of a camera. This, not on Lockie's behalf, because he needs to individually watch what they're doing in certain scenarios. But that's hard work. That takes serious dedication. That I think I could do it right, but I just think after like 5 minutes, be like, you know, when you're driving. So I can still drive, but after like 8 minutes, I'm driving, and then if I look back at my watch, it'd be like 25 minutes. I think, fucking hell, have I missed a turn or where have I been? Like, am I driving? I'm still driving. I ain't crashed. But that's what I'd do when I was watching. I'd be like 5 minutes in, I'd be like, right, okay, yeah, on ball, moving it on, right, defensively, what's he doing? And then I'd look back up at the clock and it'd be like 25 minutes. I think, even though I've only been watching him, I haven't seen him do I don't know what he's been doing for the past 10 minutes. I just know I'd switch off. I just know I would. Yeah, it's hard work. If you're talking about how many howlers to end at season like Sunderland, none. I don't think there'll be any like Sunderland. Another pushback when the ball's going over. I don't think there'll be another one of them, to be honest. Would the players in the current squad welcome new signings? They after Richard. They after, mate. Southampton want the best deal possible with a relegation clause. Well, Southampton will be certainly looking towards future now, won't they, when they are they still rock bottom? I would imagine they are, yeah. Rock bottom, 6 points in 23 games. Fucking hell. What's 23 times 3? Somebody. 69, is it? It's a horny number. 60, 369, yeah, 69. 6 points out of 69. Bloody hell. That is barren, innit? Sripper, is that in terms of John Duran? It will only affect his international career, maybe. Agreed. So, I mean, he can come back after a couple of years. Everybody's got to get over it. No, I can't, Andy. He's not been anywhere in and around it now. I don't think Farker's going to mess around. Ming says, I want my heroes to have principles when they say to you multi-millions over 2 years, you take the money and come back at 23. Rich Sullivan, to be fair, Jordan Aaronson went to Saudi for 5 minutes and even at his age he got moved to Ajax. Duran will be fine. Agreed. Jordan Aaronson, I mean, there was some talk that Gerrard didn't like it in the early... I mean, you don't know that that's not nonsense, but apparently he didn't like it coming indoor. Again, on that Roy Keane thing, what we started the stream with, like, you don't know until it's there, dear. And then once you get there and you think, oh, I don't like this, I don't want this. Because I also think the lifestyle will get a bit boring. I don't know, I was speaking about this the other day, to be fair, with my mates, but, like, I've never been one for, like, travelling, and I'm so up for people travelling, like, if they want it. It's just not my thing. But, like, I don't want to go to Cambodia. Do you know what I mean? I don't see the appeal. I don't really want to touch an elephant's ear. I'm scared enough of my cats. I don't want to touch an elephant or wank off a donkey or something. Do you know what I mean? I could do that at Scarborough Beach, to be fair, but well, I think, to be fair, I'm going to say I don't think they'd let me do that, but I think everybody's got a price, haven't they? Which is what we're on about. Everybody's got, there's only a certain amount of money. I think once you get into double digits, I mean, how much is your average donkey ride? Do you know what I mean? Once you get into double digits with a donkey ride provider, I think if you wanted to, safely deliver excrement, no, you wouldn't be the would you be the deliverer of excrement, or would you? Because you wouldn't be delivering the excrement. Leave that to you guys. Everybody's got the price. That's all I'm saying. Righteous one. Stream derailed. Yes. Hey, shout out to you, my brother. Yeah, we definitely went on a wander there. Jack, if Leeds missed the boat in the transfer market, could Leeds, if desperate, dip their toes in the in the under 21s? Well, to be fair, Farker said that. He said he'd rather bring in a 21, an under 21, than some, just some piece of shit. Hendo the diplomat. Yeah, it means they were the highest score in Europe. That's mad, isn't it? 30 goals, man. Crazy stuff. Is there any past or present player that you would be nervous of interviewing? If I'm honest, dude, any of them. 100% any of them. I actually privileged enough I interviewed Nigel Martin. I might re-upload that video, because I'd stopped. I'd not put a video up for about a month with channel, so it sort of collapsed a bit. I might re-upload that. Martin re-upload. Interviewed him for the launch at William Hill in Central Leeds, or a new William Hill opening. I think it was already there, but I think they've renovated it. It's a quite nice gaff now. I got the opportunity it was mint, and I can't lie, I was shitting my kegs for that. I can't stand stuff like that. I sometimes get nervous before lives and that. There's something weird about my lives, I get a bit nervy on the basis that I'm in my own house. When I'm in my own house, I don't want to do stuff that I don't feel like I have to do. Like, so if I go out and perform or something, I don't get nervous about that, because I just think, right, I'm here, like, get your balls out, we're off. But when it's like, well, I'm sat in my living room, I don't really need to do this. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it scares me. I could just stay sat here and then this never happens, but yeah. Eric, yes, I would, dude. I would. I think it'd be enough. As apologies, because I can't remember who alluded to him being able to play in the 10. He can also do the 10 role. He can play out wide, which we would never need him to play out wide. But if he can go up top, I know nobody likes the idea of it, but Peru can go into 10. If he can do the 10, I think it's good going. Messi not mentioned anywhere really now. What a player, just the best ever. Just love him so much. Players come and go, but Leeds United in the blood forever, Tony. 100%. Ming's in on that. Bob's not been commenting much, but totally agrees with you. So in and on and over there with you. The boys and Bob are in with you. I know he was. I think he did. I think he were quite a big thing for him last weekend. So I ain't actually. I'll get Joe. I'll find out off Joe how he got on. Legendary MVG with the £20 super chat, you maniac. That is. It's also said there, let's celebrate their that's your 5th super chat, dude, or something. So it says I can celebrate it, but I don't really know what that means. I mean, I'm celebrating just the super chat in general, but how do I celebrate it? I don't know. I'm just knocking the fucking comment on and off. I don't want to touch an elephant's ear or wank of a donkey. I forgot I'd said that, to be fair, but premium donkey ride, says Ena. It's gone down well. If we did so, are you on Gran Turismo? That's ace. Gran Turismo's Awesome stuff. If wanking off donkeys brings the punters in. Oh fucking hell! I do also, I stand by that comment. That's right. I know, and in fairness to all my mates that have been travelling, and I still think Leeds is the best city in the world. To all my mates that have been travelling, that is not. I'm sure that's not what they got up to, but. Oh man, it's funny. Understood. Righteous One says we'll only get one in. It's Donkey Gate, says Dick Dastardly. I might have to chop the wanker donkey off. I might have to chop that up. Might have to go through and find it. This is a mint comment from Righteous One. Prime Suarez was amazing, disregarding his vampirical antics. Would that be a vampirical antics? Yeah, I actually liked him for the vampire stuff. The best Suarez moment was the handball, and when everybody went absolutely mental for it. It's like, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all, and then they missed the pen, didn't they, with that Garner or something? I need to write legendary MVG out because he 100% gets a shout out for this. For that ludicrous super chat. I wish I could do. We need to think of something I can do more when you boys are whacking in crazy chats like that. It's insane. But seriously, legendary MVG and everybody, thank you. But 20 quid's crazy, dude. Righteous One says just spat my tea out. Enar says, come to Iceland, you can wank off a whale or a dolphin. If I had to pick, I think it's more manly to wank off a whale, but in that sense, it's a bit more male on male, innit? Whereas dolphins are more feminine. I've not got a problem with, male on. Well, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't wish to partake in it. So I feel as I want to, if I had to pick, I would go with the whale, but I don't, in my mind, I'd rather the dolphin. In truth, I'd be scared of both, and I wouldn't want to touch either of their members, but I'm an open book. Let's see where it ends up. I'll have to get myself to Iceland. I'll make a decision when I get there, when I get to Sanctuary, or whatever it is, whenever you get there. Suarez, just on that as well, dude, was one of the biggest bargains. I remember, and this is not me being the oracle, but I remember seeing Suarez in the World Cup, and I remember literally texting my brother, and I'm like, why does nobody want Suarez? Where was he before? Before Liverpool signed him, because they were like, why? You could tell how he was on the ball. Like, nobody's getting the ball off him. Phenomenal. Oh, come on, fucking hell. I thought Suarez would be enough. I didn't think that. Ajax, to be fair, 81 goals in 110 games at Ajax. And then Liverpool at next one's in for him. It's like he spent 8, 9, 10, 4 years at Ajax. Crazy to not get a massive club coming in for you, getting them type of goals, and then being a beast at World Cup. Crazy stuff. Spent an evening with Razor Ruddock once. That boy could drink. He certainly, I don't know him, but he definitely can. Well, I think Joe's got me stuck with the Carl Pilkington line, which I will be texting him after the live, just saying the Carl Pilkington thing's now become a thing, which I'll just have to ride out, like I have to ride out everything else. My mum always said I was unique, but obviously not. So just like rest of them, just like Carl Pilkington. Bullshit. I do think that's quite funny with Park. I think he's funny in general, to be fair, but I don't wish to replicate him in any sense. If you take the mistakes out, it'll be 7 or 8 points clear. I agree. Jack, you like 2 legs and snakes. I don't like snakes. I'm never near snakes. Not keen on cows. I hate cows. They terrify me. God help me with spiders. I don't like spiders, but I've got 2 cats, so I don't see any of them anymore. A millipede would be the worst thing ever, yeah. But again, cats won't let me see them. They're sensational at keeping pests out of my house, them cats. I mean, I see spider and I just point them at it like that. And one of them's terrified and the other one's like, I'll get it. And just goes and gets it for me. They're awesome. Righteous One, unfortunately, I can't put that on the screen, I don't think, but he's Righteous One's interested to know how much it would cost to fist a whale's blowhole. Again, everybody's got a price. I know a very cute feminine whale for you. I'd rather the whale. I think it's a better story to tell, because I think dolphins can get a bit of a different rep, whereas whales, like, fucking whale, mate. Like, oh yeah, whale, mate. Yeah, well fit it were as well. AO says, no, the best Suarez moment when he was accused of diving and Suarez scored a goal, ran over to the touchline and dived in front of the manager who accused him of diving. That is a mint Suarez moment. Agreed on that. I appreciate it so much, MVG. You're an absolute ledge. You all are, to be fair. It's not just the people that whacking silly money, but 20 quid's wild, dude. We've gone from doing either number 10 to what's your favourite animal to wank off. Nobody do it how he does it, Oliver. Nobody do it how he does it. Oh, man. Dolphins cry. Well, that's why. That's why I'm clicking in. Chicks cry, don't they? Men cry, just people ignore them when they cry. Assimilate. You would assimilate. I have to use all that. It's one hell of a word. Only thing I learned at college was to type in define, assimilate, and then even now you don't have to do that. It just defines it for you when you type it in, so it's a shame. So the only thing I learned at college has now become redundant. Take in and understand fully. Regard as similar. So you would assimilate to Carl Pilkington to have a clunky thought process. Clunky, or I can't remember the other word. Andy, I'm sure you'll remind me. Sakamoto, I wanted to upload the retracted. It says message retracted, but I can't upload it. Ming says his teeth are offside. He does have. They were perfect for the grabs that he were getting though, wasn't it? It's not like he's a one bite man as well. It's not like he's tried it once. He's tried human once, hasn't he? And then, done it again, hasn't he? He clearly got a taste for it. He's done it a few times, so them teeth really did come in handy. Another Mint Suarez story. I'm not talking about Suarez like I think he's a nice man. He's probably a pig, but I can't remember what team it was, but it was obviously against Liverpool, and they were throwing money at him, and he put a few of the coins in his sock, and then they asked him in an interview. I remember this on Match of Day. They asked him in an interview. He said, "Oh, why did you were putting the coins in your sock?" And Suarez, I will look this up afterwards, but he's from a town, like a tiny town in Uruguay. I've clicked on fucking Kevin Phillips by accident. And he said, I took that money because from where I'm from, you'd never throw that money away. You'd never throw a penny away type of thing. I've butchered the quote, but I thought, to be fair to him, my man understands the penny. You shouldn't throw money away, never. Luis Suarez birth town. My googling really goes down. I forget how to use the internet when I'm on these lives, because have you ever tried to use your phone or while in front of someone? And like you just can't operate. It's like you're a bit nervous or something. Fucking hell, I'm never gonna find this, but I'm pretty sure he's from a really small town. Salto. Luis Suarez. Here we go. Here's a Jack fact. I told you. Luis Suarez was born in Salto, Uruguay, which is the second most populated city in the country. So, cheers, guys. I've smashed it out of the park. I still maintain, I reckon, even though it's a huge city, I still maintain what he said will have been something about the town that he lived in, and it wasn't that big. I've dropped a bollock again, but it is what it is, isn't it? We've had bollocks, we've had animal excrement. It's all been there. I actually got bit by a house spider a few months back. Still waiting for powers to kick in though. Yes, right. I was actually taking that serious on the basis that my mate got bit by a spider. It was terrible, but obviously we're on about them spidey senses. Surely a whale has two hands. Andy Rowe bringing us back down to reality here. Do you think Stuart's availability gets us over the line? I think it's mint. I honestly think we'd be alright. We're so stacked in centre mid with Tanaka, Gruev, even Gilavogi if needs be, and Rothwell. That I think Ampadu can play centre back for the rest of the season, and if we get Wobber back, we'll be alright. But Stuart coming back's enormous. Can't believe I left Connors. I know everything video to talk bestiality with JackCity. Yes. Get that donkey in an elephant ear on and over here. Get that donkey in and on an elephant ear over here. Get that donkey in and on and over elephant ear. That's what it needs to be. Get that donkey in and on and over an elephant ear. His teeth did good and bad. I said, is that what I tried to upload? You never, don't be taking them comments down, brother. Yes, Sam, what's good? He puts cash in his socks at the small town boy. Just read somewhere there's a 1 in 282 match chance of being bit by Luis Suarez. Yeah, the fact checks, we've got to keep them rolling in. I'm going to actually, if I can be asked, I'm going to actually find out. I'm going to find the quote. And then for like everybody that hasn't watched it, I'll get the pelters in the comments going, why the fuck is Suarez in your video talking about what town he's from? Like, well, because you want F at live, guys, and, that's how this works. The amount of shit I get, and it's been mint as well, because I put Wilder back in for outro, and obviously Klopp's still there, and if you've been here a while, you know why Klopp's there, and it's not that deep. We just beat him, didn't we? It were mint, and we was all having a laugh about him saying boom, and he'd had a meltdown, and what have you. So like, well, he's staying in on the basis that he's pissing a few people off, like, why is Klopp in these videos? You said you're a Leeds fan. It's like, yes, but we're discussing football, aren't we, guys? Righteous One says he did actually get bit by one. Bob Young says, what's crack, Jack? Striker incoming. We spoke about this right at the start, dude, but I would take this Cameron Archer guy, unless something's happening. It's not going to happen this late at night now, is it? It's normally, to be fair, they normally release it about 6 p.m. They've had a bid rejected, haven't they? On about 15 million for him. Makes me laugh on thing. Leeds United prepare new bid, ready to spend millions. Like, we have to spend millions, don't you? Even if it's 3. Was the spider radioactive? Is that why he got? Is that why he could then, for some reason, climb walls? I didn't know that's what it was. Sam says we need a 10 and a striker. I think defence will be okay. I agree, dude. I think either the 10 or the striker does us the good stuff. That's because you are Dracula's partner, Ming. Dracula has no effect on his physical. Shane says he was from Beeston, suburb of Uruguayan city. That's kind of also what I mean, though. I mean, Beeston will be heavily populated, to be fair, but from what I'm certain he said, it were like 150 people or something. But again, I was a young man, so I've either been lied to or I've had a really, really weird dream about Suarez. I don't know. I don't know. Is that the answer to that? Legendary? Is that the answer, Andy? I don't know. 50 Shades of Shrek. 50 Shades of Lame. Available. He's available. Yeah, the bastards. Teeth history. You're never going to find that. We'll have to try and interview his orthodontist, won't we? Although, did he have one? Because you only get orthodontics when you've got, when you want it sorting, and he's obviously never had it sorted, rather. I didn't say whales have 2 hands. Apparently blue whales have an average member length of 8 feet. So we'll probably need both hands, right? Jesus. I think it's a dolphin. I think I've changed my mind. I think I'll be too messy. I think it'll get too messy with that thing. I mean, maybe dolphins are hung like... Why ain't the phrase like hung, like when you say, oh, he's hung like a horse? Why ain't it hung like a whale then? I'm going to start using that. Like donkey dick and that. It's like, oh, whale dick. I know it don't ring the same, but, let's work it out. Bob Young, I love this. Is it a coincidence we're linked with an archer and a target in the same day? Is there a midfielder called Bullseye in the offing? I won't rule it out. Who's the fella from Bullseye? As long as it ain't him. Bullseye presenter. Again, I can't use the fucking internet again. Head's gone. Jim Bowen. As long as it ain't Jim Bowen. He ain't fucking related to Jared Bowen or whatever he's called, is he? Getting that way. Getting on for that. Dolphins do smile. They also have sex with humans. In your company, what's Angry Mad Gav's worst ever rant? I don't know. That'd be close enough to Bullseye, wouldn't it? I don't know what Angry Mad Gav's worst rant is. I don't know. This has been tremendous, fellas. What an experience. How long have we been here? 2 hours, 18 minutes, boys. What are we doing? What I do want to do is super quickly, I want to run through the next 5 fixtures. But I am going to piss my pants. No, show them what you could have won. I met Becchio. Becchio and Beckford did they did where one at places where I DJ, they did like an afternoon with Becchio and Beckford. They're both proper mint gadgers. I'm going to have to go for a lag, boys, and I'm going to lose all my viewers here, but it just is what it is. So we'll do what we normally do. Hey, the camera's froze, so you just have to accept that. Let's have a look here. What we're doing here. Oh, what the fuck am I doing here? The camera's froze, but is that going to work?
Yeah, allow me to fuck up all my exes. Nexus, I'm about to kick this motherfucking bitch quicker than my exes. I'm sexist, best mixed Toyota with the Lexus. I'm restless. I need to kick the shit before it festers. My life's surrounded by 1,000 things just here to test us, just arrest us. My skin's thicker than a bulletproof vest is. I'm invested, the best I'm suggested, the rest can't contest it. Wish I could get up and kick it all the way down to Texas. I'm reckless, a mess in the mind, it's so congested. So pick your best bitch, I'm a wreck for the test it gives. I'm a chef when it comes to cooking messages. I'm the best shit straight from the chest. If it's a mess, then a test, I will rep record and put the shit to rest. Little lizards staying blessed, ragging into each and every single one. Another shit is so incest, I detest, I'm unimpressed. All I do is reinvest, all you do is back down and betch. I'm possessed, I could teach this bitch to fetch. I have never found myself not been correct. I'm a master of the game, as shit is chess. Leave nothing for a guess, I confess. I'm a sucker for this motherfucking Smith and West. Career a jest, just one in the chamber, a willing Russian roulette. Only when it comes to culture, I would never place a serious bet. I slap this bitch up just to visit the vet. I grab this lizard just to feel the effect. This shit is physics, so mechanics are tech. I got a gallon of magnets, and so these atoms are wreck. How do you flatten this set? Do you agree it's gotta be impossible to disrespect? On another level, and nobody really wanna step. Yeah, I'm butter on a beat, a butterfly in effect. I'm only high in a sense, I'm never lying, I'm cleansed. I'm only rhyming for friends, I'm only piping a piper just to frighten and upset. Never biting Mike Tyson, never sitting on a fence. I've heightened the tense, I'm never shy on a fence. I'm only writing for rent, finish line in sight, but I don't know where this shit ends. I'm politely inviting you, take your rights and just blend. I own the right to offend, if I'm a kite then I'm high and tight, till the motherfucking end.
Perfect timing. Who've I lost? How many have I lost? Can you hear me again here, actually? I need to check. I nearly fell over on the way out as well. I don't know if anybody noticed that. I literally nearly hit the fucking floor, but because my wardrobe's collapsed. Which I know I don't want to keep talking about my wardrobe, but it is a big issue. I need to check this is playing. Can you hear me? Yeah, my wardrobe's collapsed because I was drunk the other night and I fell into it and it's all gone tits up. So I've lost, but I don't want to. If I overdo it on the clothes rail there, it comes down. So, and I've only got the clothes in here because of the cats attack my clothes if not. So these are my favourite ones because they get into the wardrobe. So I need a new wardrobe that doesn't let them in. And so I've got my 3 favourite coats on the back of the door because I don't want to open the door tomorrow or yesterday and the whole thing be on the floor. Boring story, I know, but these are the trials and tribulations, you know. What have we had while I've been away here? Bestiality, now golden showers. Strikes again. Oh, shite. Hang on a minute. I'm in the wrong fucking room. There we go. That's why it's worked now. Apologies, boys. Is that right? That's mental. Sperm whale at the door. I've never watched it, you know. I can never, to be honest, man. I get loads of shit for this in general off everybody, like in my general life. I don't watch I watch tons of YouTube. So I've just said I don't watch but I watch like odd podcasts and that, but I don't watch I can't be arsed sitting down and watching stuff. I watch sport and I watch things that interest me on YouTube, and if I'm not doing that, I'm either doing one of these videos or a shit vid, or I'm trying to make music. So if I start occupying myself, I've sat through a few series before, and then I just kill myself with them. I get addicted, and I'm like, and then I do the whole series in one night, and then I feel like cack the day after. So I just stay away from them. I'll watch a film, but I'm not a film buff, so you know. Took a while there, mate. Did you find a donkey in the toilet? No, I did not. I'm saving my first donkey experience for Scarborough. I think it's only right. Yes, I have Andy, yeah. And the glorious thing is, I'm in a scenario where nobody knows the words, really, so you just ride it out. Or just have a laugh with yourself and just say, this is, you know, if I can't remember these words, there's no chance of you lot. But yeah, it's the worst thing ever. And it's, funnily enough, if you don't think about it, it doesn't happen. And then the second you think about it, because it's like having an out-of-body experience. To be fair, so is talking. But you you don't know what you're saying when you're saying it, do you? You're just saying it and your brain's like going like that and it's moving. And then if you start thinking about what you're saying, it starts to slow down and you start to think, shit, catching up with myself. And that's what happens when you're performing. You're singing and you're not thinking about out and you're looking at everybody. Then you think, hang on a minute, where am I actually at? And then you start going like that and then you think, shit, what's the next line? And then before you know it, you're behind. So it's, yeah. Wales, use your wardrobe together, bro. You've got to get it fresh, haven't you? And you've got to hold it for a while as well, because I would imagine with an 8-foot dong, it takes some serious drying up. But I bet my life on it, there's no more. Is turgid? Would turgid be the right? I'm not going to Google turgid. I think turgid would be the right, or strict, firm, strong. Won't be much better. Peep show, no doubt. Peep show. I can watch comedy series because it's not so bad. I know Ted Lasso's meant to be funny and all that shit. I just can't be arsed with it. But yeah, Peep show I still watch. Puts me to sleep now because I know every episode. I love Peep show. 100%. 100% me. But yeah, I do want to just quickly jump on the stream just to talk about the February that we have in front of us. So we will bring it back to football for the last 10 minutes or so. Although I think I've well overstayed my welcome here, so apologies guys, but also thank you for being here. How long have we been on here? It's been a while, hasn't it? 2 hours 26 minutes. Fucking hell, boys. But I've had a few beers with you. I don't know if anybody else is on the slate, but I love these Thursdays. They're becoming more and more religious. Crazy. I think we got up to about 100 in room at one point. I don't know what numbers we were at on Whalegate. I don't know if we lost a few over that period of time. It's nature at beast, isn't it? So, but yeah, Cardiff at home on Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. They've got 2 wins in the last 5. The best thing to do if you forget words on stage, you stop singing, ask the crowd for a cheer, and then ask for another cheer so you can get your thought back on track. It's just hard to pick it back up sometimes, but I actually, when I'm practicing, deliberately forget. So I stop for 4 or 5 bars or whatever, and then I try and learn to pick it back up like later on, so your brain gets used to like you're not having to say it all. I know he got that in general, to be fair. So, but yeah, Cardiff just a yak on about that. They're 18th, so that's 3 points. I went on Joe's yesterday and we did like a breakdown of February. It was quite good what he did, to be fair. So I'm not trying to nick what he did, but he like calculates it at the end and stuff. It's good to do. It was good. So go check that video out if you want. But I think the likelihood is we're going to come up. There's going to be one sticky game this month, and I think even though they're in the worst form at the moment, now for some reason, so we've got Cardiff at home 3. I'll rattle through these. Coventry away on the Wednesday, and I think we'll do both of them. I think Coventry's a big game because Lampard's here, and I think we'll get the better of them. Then we've got Millwall at the weekend in the Cup on 8th of Feb. which obviously will rotate plenty of players. But then on the 11th, we're away at Watford, and they're 9th in the league, and they have 1 win in the last 5 currently. So if Watford will finish about 9th or 10th in the league, so if to do that, they're going to have to pick some results up. So I think there's a chance they might go on a little bit of a run. So I think that's where we might come a cropper. So I think we beat Cardiff, I think we beat Coventry, then I think we draw to Watford, then we get a rest, 6 days, we go into Sunderland. I think we beat Sunderland, I think we dominated them away from home at the start of the season when Meslier, obviously Silent S, had the blunder. I think we wreak revenge on Sunderland, and I think it might be quite a big game. Well, it is a big game, but I mean in terms of points, I think Sheffield and Burnley might be putting a little bit of pressure on in general there, especially if we do draw at Watford. And then Sheffield, I'm hoping we do. It is away from home, but I thought it was so much better than them when we played them at home that I think we can get the better of them. And, you know, that's us not losing a game in the next 5. So, you know, Cardiff 3, Coventry 6, Watford 7, Sunderland 10, Sheffield 13 out of 15's wild prediction. I think we are capable of that. We are drawing more games than I would like, in fairness, which I've been banging on about drawing games, and I think that'll be Burnley's comeuppance. We've drawn 9 out of 29, only lost 3. Sheffield have lost 5. That's what I mean. So they've had a couple of point reduction. They've won 1 more game than us, 2 points behind us, which are the 2 points that got deducted. So they've drawn 6 and lost 5. I do think you're better off losing and not drawing. Burnley have drawn 12 and only lost 2. And they're 3 points off us, but I don't know. I'm hoping that Burnley win don't come back to bite us a little bit, because that would pull us away at the moment, wouldn't it? We'd then be 5 points clear of Sheffield, 6 points clear of Burnley. It could be. I just think they'll slip in the next 5 games. Obviously, we can beat Sheffield in the next 5 games. That'll pull us away from Sheffield. It's a huge 6-pointer. It might come down to being a massive moment, that really. 49ers work in silence. Something I wanted to talk about. We spoke about plenty in general, haven't we, about that? But 49ers do. Nobody do it how they does it. There's a chance that West Brom game on the 1st of March might be rescheduled, because I think the FA Cup lands. So if we beat Millwall, that might get rescheduled. But I don't know if it'll get rescheduled anyway if that's the FA Cup weekend. Obviously, as I say, Watford have 1 win in 5. That will change, because they'll have 2 games before us as well. So there might be no wins in 5 at that point. So it will all change, and there might not be 9th in league at the time. But I just think Watford will end about 9th. Cameron Archer, to summarise, I would take in probably only 6 games in Fed. Cardiff, Coventry, Millwall, Watford, Sunderland, Sheffield. Take 10 points from 15 and a cup win. I'm glad you said cup win, Bob, because I can't believe. I tell you what, we'll see if we can. We've only got 55 in room, so we're not going to get to our 111 or whatever it was at Paul. But this always surprised me. Do you want to win this cup game? This always surprises me. So we've only got 55 in room. If we can get 45 to vote, I'll be wanking myself silly tonight if we're going to talk about all sorts of different Sam says tough games, but we're in good form. Ideal 3 to 4 wins and a draw. Just don't lose. Yep. Matthew, I agree. When it's hard, it was hard, you know, because I've not done that before. So I know Joe was also in on it, but he was very kind to me, as he is. But it's hard, because there's that many fixtures that you're going through. That's why I would have revised it. I would also like more time, because Joe's like, I'm like, fucking, I can't be like that. I've got to think about stuff a bit more. Not that Joe doesn't think about stuff. I don't mean like that, because he does. He's just, his championship knowledge is excellent. Now I'm a bit more like, what are Leeds doing? Where are Leeds playing? Who are they playing? Where are they in league? It's all a bit slower for me. But yeah, Burnley won't be putting on as much pressure as I think the table suggested. Oh, we're already on 21 votes here, boys. You're all legends. And in 21 votes, we're on 86% yes, 21% no. How can that be? That's not right, is it? Is that bad maths? 86% yes, 14% no. I'm glad you're yeses. People don't want to win these games. There's nothing more important than winning football games, number one. Number two, why don't you want to go on a bit of a running cup? Like, you know, who cares? Do you know what I mean? What I don't know. Can you imagine if we could go on a run? Fucking mint. And it don't make a difference. I'd love to go over statistics over years and that, seeing who actually ends up getting promoted just because they've been on a bit of a run. There's always like, I know when Wigan won it and they went down that year or whatever, or they were going down or something, whatever it was, they lost in final or whatever it was. That's not why they went down. Wigan went down because they were shit. Let them have a cup run. Fucking hell, because at least they'll remember that. We're going up regardless. Let's win on fucking, let's beat Millwall. Put them to its yard. Outrageous, Andy. Got to get rid of that one pretty quickly, I think. I should have read ahead. Legendary MVG there. I've been done. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. Making me blush. We'll get a bet builder going, to be fair. We will get one going. Oliver, we're on 60 points, 17 games left, win 10, draw 5 and lose 2, 95 finishing points. Love it, mate. Win 10, bosh. And on that, so if we're winning 10 and I'm on about next 5, winning 4. Because 5 leaves us with 12 games. As you well know, you can do the math. That's great maths in the first place, big lad. We're on 22 votes. What votes did I say would be push me over edge? I can't remember. But maybe we'll just try and get it to 30. Or we'll just wait to end it stream, to be fair. AO says 3 losses in 29 games is solid form no matter what league you're in. But we desperately need to be more clinical in front of goal to finish our chances. Always need to be more clinical. The only thing that does slightly concern me is, although we're in, because everybody's saying we're in this decent form, and we are in decent form, but I've been alluding to this 10-game streak where we were just unstoppable, and I think it's been. I need to check this thoroughly before my next shit vid when I work, so I won't be asked to. But we went that game, that 15 games unbeaten or whatever it was. It wasn't like this. It's not been so. We've had 3 draws in the last 5, for instance. Now we've had 3 clean sheets, which is sort of like confuses people a little bit. I sometimes think, I don't mean that patronisingly, I just mean it in general, where actually we're on some sort of better form than we're actually in. 3 draws in the last 5 is not the winning formula that we had for them 10, 15 games or whatever it was last season when we went on that run. I think over 15 games I mean, to be fair, I'd have to see. Hang on, let's have a look here. Let's do last 10 games. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm boxing this up. Hang on. 1 out of 2, 3 out of 3. 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6. I can't do it. I can't. I'm losing my train of thought. My point is, that's crazy. I can't go through with it. I will work it out. My point is, last year we went on we went 6 games. We'd win 6 games, then we'd draw 1, then we'd win 4 games, then we'd draw 1. At the moment, our current form is draw, win, win. This is going backwards, or going forwards it'd be draw, win, win, draw. That's not the run we went on last year when we had the unbeaten run. So I still don't think we're flying into this form. Watching my brain try to work that out there must have been an absolute... I've landed again. Back in the room, Ming, yes. That's what I'm saying, Andy. It's the draw. I detest them. That's why when I was so pissed off about the West Brom draw. It's just like, this is a fucking pointless draw. They don't even want to try and win the game. Just go and lose the game. They don't want to win it. So just let them accidentally win it. They're not even like everybody was saying, like with Burnley, and like they're actually looking to catch us on counter attack, which is how they beat us in first place the first time round. But Burnley are actually trying to do that. West Brom wasn't trying to do that, so go and win the game. Is that right, Andy, that we won 9 consecutively? We haven't been great lately, says Ina. That's what I'm saying, dude. I honestly don't think we have. Which is a good thing in the sense, you know, that we're still sort of in fine form, you know, like, not form, because that's what we're on about, form, but I didn't like the West Brom game, dude. No, it did my head in. Matthew says, Leeds don't draw many games, so would say 12 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, 98 points. Be amazing. It's amazing how many games we win. No, I don't think it works like that, AO. Honestly, don't. Right, Sean says he don't care. Take that. Bob Young says after Feb is cruise control. Yeah, that's all you need, isn't it? Cruising. These teams are cruising for the bruising. Sam says, I hope we just move the ball faster. I don't see a better team in the league. I've watched all that's around us, and when we're on it, we'll beat anyone. That is what I love about this football club. Ever since Bielsa, and then obviously if you ignore everybody that was in between, ignore everybody after Bielsa, and then into Fokker. The best thing about Bielsa and Farke is if we impose our game on them, we win the game. That's how it works. Now the difference is, to be fair, when we go up to Prem, that won't be the case. With Bielsa, I still felt that was the case. If we impose our game on the other team, we win the game. If we don't play to our full Bielsa pelters, we lose the game, and it's our fault we lost the game. I don't think there's anything more refreshing than that in any sport, to be fair. You just think, well, or you get beat doing what you do, and you just think, well, we did what we did, and it works more often than not. So I'm all for it. I think Farke will switch it up slightly, though, to be fair, in Prem. I don't think he'll be, because obviously he's very, very possession based and all that stuff, and I don't think he'll literally be able to. I don't think he's adverse to like knocking it long and stuff, though. I don't think Farke, you see. I think he'll ping it. I think he'll go a bit longer at times. And to be fair, what's his face? Pep Guardiola started going a bit longer. I know they've turned to shit a little bit lately, but they've started going longer and stuff. They're not adverse to it. It's whatever works, doesn't it? Sam says, we will go up, but we need to be serious and sign good players, or it's all for naught. But only solid defence, but shite going forward. Sheffield United aren't consistent enough for me, and Sunderland lack experience. I saw some guys talking about take it easy, Dick Dastardly. Cheers for tuning in, man. I saw some guys, I don't know what podcast they run or whatever, as I said, I don't watch all really online. And they were on about like the standard, they reckon it's the worst standard, the worst championship standard in a long time. But I think that's slightly skewed by last year because it was such a like an enthralling, in all fairness. I know it's just because we were stuck in the middle of it, but it was enthralling football, wasn't it? It was wild, and there were so many teams picking up so many points. And humanely or humanly, I don't know if that's humanely. If it's humanely, it's like, when will it stop? Don't have to be happy clappy to be happy with top. Exactly. There's no happy clappers round here, mate. Sam says we just move the ball too slow. I don't fully buy into that, to be fair, Sam. I'm on board with it. I'm on board with your comment, like, you know, it's fine. But I don't fully buy into moving ball too slow. I actually think, to be fair, I think the criticism of us moving ball too slow has ended since Gruev and Ampadu have both left centre mid. Because there's no argument for it really now, you know. I think we could move the ball faster, but I think there's a rut sets in, and I don't think the rut has set in with us. So last year, when it ran Ampadu and Gruev in the middle, the reason why I thought the rut set in was because players were moving the ball to not lose the ball, whereas now I think like Rothwell and Tanaka are forward thinking enough both together, like they both want to affect the game. They're both also trying to make their place in the squad. I mean, Rothwell will be looking for some sort of a move as well, so that's one thing you do get with decent loanee signings that actually want to play for the club, and maybe he don't want to play for Leeds. I'm sure he would if we went up, and I would sign Rothwell, but he's looking to make a career for himself, isn't he? So, you know, he's wanting to affect the game. He's wanting to, if he don't get in the side as a loanee at Leeds, like, where's he go from there? So he's looking forward. I know, Jack, but for this year getting promoted, it's always. I agree with that, dude. I just don't think going out the cup or staying in the cup makes that much of a difference. I think you can just throw the game. I actually think, you know, I mean, when we did Arsenal over that time, I don't know if we went up that year, to be fair, but I don't think it makes a great deal of difference. Having a bit of a cup run, I don't think it matters in terms of promotion. I think you either get promoted or you don't, honestly. I don't think one more game against Millwall is going to make a fucking blind bit of difference. Matthew All, think that's what the held us back into the Burnley game. Far too slow on the ball. That game I thought was too slow. I felt like there were not enough onus. We didn't really try and win the game. So there is times when we don't move the ball quickly enough, but I don't think that's Farker ball is my only point. I don't know, Andy. The only reason I won't say is because for the live stream other night I had them like to the side, didn't I? And I was a bit embarrassed. It's not that many though, 5 or 6. I just said I won't say, and then I said. Matthew, we need to move it quicker from one side to the other. More one touch, more progressive. The thing is though, that there's also modes and times to actually hold the ball for, you know, a lot longer than we do. I think sometimes we move the ball too quickly, and I know this will blow everybody up, but there's times when, like, you know, this isn't to single Bogle out or anything, but you know, Bogle at the start of the season, it became like 2 one-touch. You don't need to reset when it's 1 touch. If you're popping ball about all over the shop, but it's not really going anywhere. So only like balls in scary areas that decent footballers give a shit about. When you're just popping ball about, they just go, all right, and they're just watching. It's like a game of tennis. Whereas if you're holding onto the ball and then you're looking like you might be progressing, it needs to be. It's not just the speed of the ball. Do you know what I mean? It's a movement. That's why Dan James is so effective, because he just gets at the left back and then it's like shit, and the left back has to think. There's nothing worse than a players on the move. It's not the ball really, because as I said, just popping it around, I just sit there and go like, oh, I bet this looks brilliant. They're moving ball well fast. It's like, but you know, it's easy to follow. It's easy to track. You need to pull players about. That's what we need to do more of. That's what's difficult. But players are so well, oppositions are so well drilled. They don't, feel it necessary to come out of position. They're not dumb enough anymore. It's gone are them days where it's like you just stick with him and then number 9 pulls out, and then it's only when there's unbelievably exceptional players like Messi and stuff where you'd go, right, you man mark him, and then Messi's just intelligent enough to move away, and then Suarez and Pedro and everybody else just goes and takes over. Do you know what I mean? Henry and just mad stuff. That's why that don't work when you're at that level neither, to be fair. But yeah, it's not just a moving the ball quickly thing. No, but they're I mean, if we discount the Pele Brazil time, because I don't know anything about I never watch them, but in the Robinho, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Gilberto Silva, Cafu, Carlos, Roque Jr., whatever he called him, came to Leeds. What in their time, it was in horrendous areas. They moved the ball around in horrendous areas, really far forward, popping it around. That's what I'm saying, moving the other players. We're just moving the ball around while everybody sat on the edge of the box, and there's Ampadu, Gruev, Firpo, Bogle, Aaronson dipping in, like coming in and just moving the ball around. It's too easy to negotiate. It doesn't work. You've got to pull players about a bit, get them on the move. Pele also, his goals, as much as I don't think anybody will care about this, but Pele got a hell of a lot of pointless goals. Dr. Kura says, get some kit, lad. We'll be busy tomorrow with all the signings. I wish I were busy with all the signings, mate. It'd be alright. You don't remember the 1958 World Cup? Sorry, man. It's honestly, it slipped my mind. I did know, but I've been that intrigued by like Bielsa ball and like Fark, and to be fair, I can't remember who we played a couple of weeks ago, so. Pele scored 680 goals in official club matches. 643 of those goals were scored for Santos. Pele did score 77 goals in 92 games for Brazil, which is obviously outrageous. Pele scored goals in friendly matches, including while serving in the military. Some say these goals don't count, the same as competitive goals. This is all on. This is AI. This is an AI overview. Slipping. Agreed, Sakamoto. Take it easy, brother. I reckon that if he don't come in, it's all gone to tosh. I don't think anybody will come in. I think there's a chance he comes in. There's definitely time to be moving the ball quickly. I'm just saying it can become a thing where it doesn't have an effect. You've got to slow it down, speed it up. There's times to like strike and move the ball quickly. Italy and Spain are class act at passing the ball around and playing simple, slow, controlled, boring possession soccer. Look how effective it is for them. I thought, Ayo, though, you were saying we need to move the ball more quick. Right, guys, what minutes are we on here? I think this is the longest in history. I want to do. This is nearly 2 hours 53 minutes. It's nearly the longest in my history, not in the history, because that would be wild. That would be like beating Joe Rogan stats and stuff. We got 30 votes in. I think that's what we aimed for. I can't remember what I aimed for, to be fair, but 80%, so somebody can do the maths for me. 30 votes, 80% said yes, 20% said no. I want a yes. I don't want to ever lose a game of football as a Leeds United fan. I can't see the point in losing. I think it's whack. Righteous One still lurking around. Bob Young, first time I caught you live tonight, Jack, loved it. Cheers. No, thank you, big man. Thank you, I proper appreciate it. The history tamer has been... This tamer thing. How did that start? What was the tamer? That was to Joe, wasn't it? Or the myth buster. The myth buster. Or was it the pole tamer or something? I can't remember what it was, but eggs is eggs. Nature at beast. I'll be dropping in tomorrow, guys. If you would, I'd appreciate it truly. I'm going to be dropping... Oh shit. If you type this in to YouTube, you will find my JackCity page, which I'd appreciate. If I could get that up to 1,000 subscribers, I'd be fucking buzzing. I've been trying my whole life to try and make something of the channel, and then I started this one as a joke, and then this one's got all the love, which I'm up for. It's all good. Can you give us an Elon Musk from the heart at the end? I thought you meant like in a speech, but you're on about the salute, aren't you? Which I'll probably refrain from doing. I think I did one a little bit earlier by accident, but Jesus Christ, Ian, you've come in late to drop that in. Gerrard was on 15 million a year. Shout out to Ian McIntosh for dropping that. The Paul Tamer. That's the keep it live tamer, that. 15 million a year. I bet he maybe was a bit gutted he got binned off, to be fair then. Thank you, Mink. But if you type JackCity Games in, I will be doing, so I'm going to start it maybe in a couple of weeks, so I appreciate it, because I think people go over to my JackCity page and subscribe and then I'm not there. But I'm going to do a thing called Beats by Day, because I'm always in the studio like making bullshit tracks and stuff, and then because I'm not putting them out to try and get them placed or whatever, they don't do all. So I'm just going to do a Beats by Day, so as a joke about Beats by Dre, which my brother came up with. I thought about smack my beat up, as in like smack my bitch up, but he said what about Beats by Day, and I thought that was funny, so we're going with Beats by Day. So it will be every day, but it won't be like it'll just be 8 minutes. It'll be like quick shit vids, just talking a bit of shit, and like I'd appreciate the support. So yeah, man. Gustavo Temo, we need to get him in. Take it easy, Bob. The more hands on deck, the better in that scenario, my man. Remarkable. I'll have to watch that bit back. I might try chop it up. I don't know if YouTube will like it, but you know. Yeah, I think he's already got one. Take it easy, Wendy. As I say, type that motherfucker in. Go subscribe. I'd appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, guys. Honestly, I think we got up to about 100 live viewers tonight, which is the best I've had. 118 likes. Crazy. I know I've been here for like 4 days, so it's probably just the nature of beast, but I proper appreciate it, honestly. Craziness. Take it easy, guys. Much love. Big win at weekend. I will be doing a watch along as well for the Coventry game, because that is away. I will do a watch along for every away game, just not the home games. Been emotional, righteous one of that, there's no doubt. Ta-ra. Legendary MVG. Big shout out coming in for you tomorrow with that ludicrous super chat, so thank you, dude. Cheers, Oliver. Ciao, says Dr. Carouse. Take it easy, boys. I love you all, honestly. Up the Leeds. Champions this season. No doubt about it. Andy, just for you, how do I end this? Cheers, Ena. You're a legend, mate. 78, you're a legend. You're a legend, mate. Cheers, Matthew. Right, I'm out of here, boys. If I miss anybody, You're always you're held in my heart. Peace. You're a legend, mate. Cheers, Matthew.